What's going on? What's going on? Gabriel Carbo back at it again on this wonderful Sunday morning here in Taiwan. Today's episode is Existentialism. I am what I do. Existentialism is something that's none of us can get away from that philosophy. It's a philosophy of individual freedom, the acknowledgement of that you exist and that someday you're gonna die, and life is something that you put meaning to, right? So yeah, we're gonna go over this. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to number one Mon Markella in the building. Hope you're doing well yourself. Shout out to Shadow Buddha, my brother. Shadow Buddha and I are talking about leveling up earlier. You know, they got that new Steph Curry cartoon where he's literally a GOAT, greatest of all time, and his story is a story that it's timeless, man. If you work hard, put some meaning in your life, get some meaning in your life, they take you to unimaginable heights, right? Yeah, put some bass in your voice, right? Put some meaning in your life. What's going on at TVT, the vengeful truther in the chat? Appreciate you putting that Andrew Wilson clip, live stream link yesterday. I was listening to that yesterday when he was talking about Iran and how come on, bro, this ain't no World War III going on. I mean, if the U.S. wanted to, they can take out anyone they want. The U.S. has the strongest military. That's an existential fact, and none's gonna pop off. In China, shut your mouth too, Wilson said. He's like, you ain't doing shit. You ain't taking Taiwan. Yeah, that shit was great. I like that. That was some good energy. What's up, Logical Sparks? Holmes, how's it going? Good evening. Marcellus said, death is the only promise that is never broken. Right. Never. Death and taxes, right? Maybe you can escape taxes if you're like Wesley Snipes for a little bit, but I mean, death is going to get you eventually. So Marcellus says, support the channel through Buy Me a Coffee. I love it. Buy Me a Coffee helps. Every bit helps. Keep it rolling. And thanks for being amazing. So let's get on this existential tip. These are all good things to play with, Ben. These theories, these philosophies. Your philosophy is your personal religion. So I'm just gonna go over this. Let me put this down a little bit. Existentialism is philosophical movement focused on the individual's freedom, responsibility, and the subjective experience of living in an inherently meaningless world. Unlike traditional philosophers that seek universal truths, existentialism emphasizes that we are defined not only by our predetermined nature, but by the choices we make. Right? The choices we make. That's where it's at. Core concepts in that philosophy. Existence predecesses essence. Sartre's central tenet. Humans, first of all, exist and are only defined who they are through their actions afterwards, right? We are here, we exist, right? That kind of reminds me of this Hindu Nagagartha Maharaji, where he talks about sickness, death and beyond that. So let's listen to that, how this is kind of like an existential tone to it, very much so. There's some high-powered magic.
Death is a change in experience, nothing more. What is born must die. Only the unborn is deathless. To me, death is a memory of the body. Life is, death is, they are only states of mind. Find that which never sleeps and never wakes. That which watches birth and death come and go and remains untouched. That which does not die. You are not the body. You are not consciousness. You are prior to both.
There you go. Prior to both. Prior to both. Existence precedes essence. First of all, we're humans and we exist. Everything afterward, we give meaning to. You are not the body. You are not consciousness. You are what?
Not consciousness.
Precedes that.
You are prior to both.
Is life and death predetermined?
What is destined to happen will happen, but you are not bound by it. Destiny is for the body-mind. Its birth and death are part of the total functioning. Causality belongs to the person, not to the self. You are not in time. You are not subject to cause and effect. You are the light in which events appear and disappear. But you are not touched by them. Find what is beyond birth and death. Then the question of destiny does not arise.
But you're focused on something else. Okay. Okay, with that said, holy moly. Existentialism part 2. The absurd. If you're beyond, if you're on, that sounds absurd, right? Beyond life or death. Well, this life is absurd in a sense. And the absurd, the conflict between the human search for meaning and the silent, meaningless universe. Albert Camus famously explored this through the myth of Sisyphus, where Sisyphus finds joy despite his endless futile task, right? And rolling that boulder up and down the mountain for eternity, carrying it and rolling it down and pushing back up. That is a mindless activity. Sometimes just getting up, even for people that don't have a job, they can be in such a rut that just getting up seems like a futile task. But if you can find joy in the little things, man, this world can be fun once you recognize that. Now, I'm talking about time. You know, you're here before the body and before consciousness. Facts versus transcendence. Facts include the unchangeable facts of your life, birthplace, and past. While I was born here in California. My name is Alexander. I went to a dope ass high school. So why transcendence is your ability to go beyond those facts through your future projects and choices. Right, go beyond those facts. Go beyond your personal history, as Don Juan would say. Going beyond your personal history. Don't get caught up so much in that personal history. Have fun with it. You can have fun with it for sure. Don't lie per se. But some of the most interesting people have a little fog around them. Right, and you're able to go beyond those facts through your actions and whatnot. See what Michael had to say.
Yeah.
Sure, the brevity of your time or the loss of somebody, you know, you only need to read Tennyson's In Memoriam. It can really,
Michael Tessarion.
really dwell, and they can be shocked out of their complacency. And he believed that each person needs to look at this squarely and sincerely and realize that one day all the things they care about, all the things that they see, look, our lives are filled with immersion, with tools, you know, and equipment to facilitate. It's like a man building a house, right? Everything we do is for the tomorrow. It's for the sake of something. We are very future-orientated people.
Yeah.
And so it comes as a counterintuitive thing to know that one day everything I'm doing now is contextualized by tomorrow. But at the end of my tomorrows is the possibility that all my other possibilities are shut off. So the authenticity then is the returning from that state to say, I better look hard at the possibilities I have. I can't just choose them all. I'm not like a child in a candy shop. I've got a very short time. So what do I prioritize? What becomes of value? Remember we talked about the plugins of Ayn Rand? Heidegger's got his own way of coming around to this.
Yep.
By saying, well, you'll soon find out what you value when you know it's all going to be taken away. You will not allow yourself to be immersed and absorbed in trivia, at least permanently, right? You won't live your whole life in this inauthentic manner. And believe you me, this had a huge ripple effect into the world. Not so much with philosophy, but with art, artists and poets, playwrights and musicians and filmmakers. It really did catch on for that time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Michael,
a gateway
what
to
I-
true presence, you know, even beyond New
That's
Age
it.
teachings of presence.
Yes, it is. And we still do use it.
Talk about being authentic and genuine for sure. When you realize you're only in here for a finite time, you're gonna look at most of the moments, be realistic, especially if you're just starting this, as special, as something to be in awe of, right?
It's there, right? It's definitely there. Because some of our greatest directors, people who've changed the world with their movies, they were all into this, by the way. Make no mistake about it. Peter Weir, you know, Nicholas Roeg, Ridley Scott. We're influenced this whether we like it or not. It was the guy who made the Truman Show. Yeah, it was Peter Weir, right? So yeah, it's there. And then the copycats of those, you know, will try to reprise these existential themes. They're still there, all right. But it's a taste.
Mhm.
Some people like it, some people don't.
Erasmus, you have anything? Seemed like you were going to interject there, and I jumped the gun.
No, I was just gonna highlight things that kind of relate to what we're talking about. We've had this conversation before about memento mori. You know,
That's right.
the death contemplation. You know, when I first came across that concept, it changed my life. And I've even recently, Sophie and I I've been just sitting with her and being like, you know, that this is all going to just be like, I'm not going to know you one day.
Yep.
You're going to be gone. I'm going to be.
That's true. Definitely a bummer. It's sad. But hey, man, it's gonna happen. But necessarily won't dwell on it. Keep it moving. It's a good reminder, you know. So you take life, the fun you have in life, seriously.
Be gone.
That's it.
You know, like, and I like thinking about those things. I mean, I don't live with it all day, like, oh, in this dark, morbid sense, but it really highlights the delicacy and the beauty of existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
Well, there's
Yes,
a deep vulnerability that arises, which I don't think can be separated from this word authenticity. You know.
Well, Heidegger said that in the house that he had with his wife, he went poetically into the table in the kitchen where him and his wife sat making the greatest decisions of their life. And he said, isn't this table important?
Dog Winston, my downstairs. I'm in the fourth floor right now in my studio, and the downstairs first floor, like, you know, the quote unquote the great room, the living room, is where we spend most of our time, and we've had some of the greatest moments there. I remember moving in here like 10 years ago to the date last week, and hanging out with my brother-in-law Michael, watching MMA and No Jumper, you know, 2017, 2016. And then, morphing into that's where I would start my business. That front room down there. Prep work for our food business. That's where like my dogs would wrestle. They still wrestle down there too, but that's where my beautiful dog Winston, he passed away in our arms, in my wife's arms. Downstairs down there, brought Ben home when he was a little baby. You know, there he is right there, like about a couple hours old right there. Brought him from down the street from the birthing hospital back home, chilling there downstairs with them. All the great memories, man. Yeah, all the great memories right there.
See, it's a new way of thinking, right? The table is important because you and I have sat at this table in these incredibly important moments.
Yeah.
But normally it would be invisible. It would be something we just throw in the junk heap once
Right.
it's over and done with. And that's okay. There's something that's all right about that. We don't.
That's why, you know, the whole Shintoism is interesting to me. Like, you know, putting meaning on objects and whatnot, and giving them like almost an animistic sense to them, like they're alive. And that Marie Kudo, the Japanese organizing engineer, genius woman on Netflix, who teaches you how to organize your house and declutter. She's interesting because she's like, you know, when you're deciding what you want to keep and get rid of, you know, first of all, acknowledge the item, thank it, and be like, yeah, thanks for giving me joy, you know. But I'm not gonna, if you're gonna use it, you know, put it in a place where you can use it, and if not, you'd be like, thank you for giving me all this joy, you know. Being conscious of that, of all these things, it almost makes your life kind of somewhat mystical, the mundane.
Need to become hoarders, but we also should notice the world of the inanimate around us if we were looking from the eyes of an artist.
Yeah.
And all he was doing was giving an illustration of exactly what you're talking about. These numinous moments in which, you know, you are having this secondary reflection. Of course, we know that it's very rare to have it in the company of another.
Secondary reflection. Yeah, that's it. A lot of people go through the world just one mode. This is it. This is how it is, you know, or, you know, just an autopilot, in the sense that they don't zoom out of themselves and they don't observe themselves what they're doing, right? And but when you have the second reflection, you can see consciously your actions and whatnot, and how, hey man, am I being duped here by this person, or am I being duped by this activity? Am I fooling myself, most importantly, for doing something that's not serving, giving my life real meaning? You know, the second reflection. What up, Brown's boy? Good to see you, man. Brown's boy helps us in this panel verse, you know, come outside of ourselves and be like, well, this person's actions are not adding up to a normal person. There seems to be something manufactured about the behavior that stands out, and most people are just zooming along and they're panel hopping and show creating that they don't see it. But Brown's boy is quick to tell us and show us these things that he gives meaning. He gives meaning to almost seem somewhat chaotic, meaningless community.
Right. I mean, we can have it
In his own unique way.
You know how many lonely people are sitting right now in a garret somewhere or a little apartment? They're doing this, but they don't have anyone near them that's doing it too.
Mm-hmm.
So be very, very conscious of the fact that if you're doing it and someone you love is doing it, that is absolutely unique.
Yep. I'm talking to Rebecca. I'm like, Rebecca, you do. I know she does anyway. I'm like, do you see yourself as reflecting on life and being introspective? And she's like, oh yeah, for sure. You know, and like it's great to have someone to talk to these things. And now another person, Ben, right? And then another person, Shadow Buddha, and Markella. Like, what the heck? This is great. TBT in the building.
You know, there's something extraordinary about that. It's a very great gift that two people on the same path or road, you know, can be courageous enough to walk with that and be in that state of. They also call it the great nostalgia. Is another term for it, you know. But it's this this state of gratitude.
Yeah.
And Heidegger did notice that in the etymology, the word for thinking, denken, is etymologically similar to the word for thank you or gratitude, danke, danken. Now, why he said are those two words? So he said, you know, they're the same. It's because real thinking is gratitude. So when somebody said he didn't come up with no answers, I wanted answers and I didn't get nothing. Oh no, he came up with answers all right. They're just too subtle for you to get.
The thinking man in Islam, we say the man of knowledge, right? That's how you get closest to God, right? Man of knowledge, getting knowledge of God, right?
He was talking about that thinking should be a deep state of gratitude for what we do have in front of us. You know, and I really related to that. These are the kind of things that just were like mind-boggling to me. So yeah, I would say a funeral. You know, I know that your father passed away not too long ago, and your mother's probably still reeling with that. You know, dealing with that. You guys are.
Yeah, we just moved. We just sold our house in New Jersey, 45 years last month, and moved my mom out here to live with us. She's living
Well,
with
look at that.
Yeah.
Now think of that, right? Think of that. And then there's what Heidegger beautifully called thoughtful memory. You know, he didn't want people shrugging this off and just moving on. He also talked about the past and about thoughtful memory. We have it for a reason. It's an attribute that is falling by the wayside as people don't have memory. They don't allow themselves to think deeply about who they were in the past, what their aspirations were. As we said, what were your aspirations for your own future?
Some of us are very highly nostalgic. A lot of this water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. We're in the Piscean month. You're probably getting nostalgic in terms of your dreams life lately. Dream life is probably off the hook right now. Yeah, overthinking though sometimes is something that in the past that can lead you to stagnation. But it's good to remember the past and think about what your ambitions were, and if you met those things, so you can chart a case, chart a direction of where you're gonna go. What up, Weekend? How's it going? Weekend Music, good to see you, my friend.
You see? And then you checklist to say, yeah, I've achieved those things. I've achieved some. In fact, life may have even offered me better things, than what I even hoped to have.
Yeah.
Today, life is moving so fast, we barely have the moment to even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And assess and take an inventory. Or really be grateful for the meaningful relationships that we have that we value.
Right, man. Like, I'm grateful for the people that, that tap in with me and ask me how I'm doing and share how they're doing. Ask me for advice, or even ask if I need advice. That's rare, but yeah, that's very thoughtful, right? We don't like what Shadow Buddha and I don't like. We don't like snobs, bro. Know-it-alls and whatnot. I'm sharing what I think, Ben, right now. Like, this is how I see it. But I know that you're going to add to it and have your own philosophy of life and maybe even push back on some of the stuff. But all that to say, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. I can make judgments and assumptions, but I'm only doing it in order to navigate this crazy, unpredictable world that we put meaning to. Yeah, existential angst. Angst is the it's kind of inward stress, inward anxiety, the profound anxiety arising from the realization of absolute freedom. Like, we do have absolute freedom. Yes, there are laws of man out there, right? Maritime law, all that stuff. But we do have freedom to think, and the weight of being solely responsible for one's own life, and the weight of being responsible for one's own life can cause us to be like really in distraction mode, in entertainment mode 24/7, right? In not appreciating the people around us that are really there for us and each other. That is being, which leads us to not being authentic, really, right? Can lead you to not being authentic, and that the existential angst, the inward stress, anxiety, can lead you not to be your authentic self, because living in accordance with your true self, and taking responsibility for your freedom, this unlimited freedom we have, is something that makes you, makes you authentic. Instead, because it's very heavy. A lot of people would rather conform to the crowd or bad faith, the crowd, the womb, crawling back into the womb, right? Shout out to Ben. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Browns boy. Uncle Browns boy. Look at that kid. Look at that champ. Came from these two right here. Right? Wow, what an existential moment. Boom, birthed into the world. Right? A new John Connor. So let's see. We'll look at some of the key figures of the existential movement. Back to Michael Tessarion, existentialism.
Ayn Rand's work does have parallels to something that on paper has no connection, but I find these connections. The whole question of gratitude.
I'm very grateful for my family. Shout out to the families, all the families out there, TVTs especially. Shout out Buddha. We got birthdays out there in the OC. Shout out from Canada all the way to the Bay, to the OC, to Oklahoma, everywhere. Ohio. We love you guys. We love family. Shout out to Wiccan's great nephew. Was born yesterday. 5 pounds, 15 ounces. Oh wow. He's just one off from 16 from a 6-pounder. Yeah. There's a newborn right there too. Little Benny has a newborn. I took that picture. Yeah. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Who said happy birthday, Shadow Buddha? Is this his birthday? It ain't his birthday yet. It's his niece's birthday, but yeah, it's coming up in April, right? Yeah. We're celebrating her early. Yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday, Shadow Buddha. Yeah. You guys are great. Yeah. We celebrate each other, right?
Agree with every word that Heidegger's talking about.
Yeah.
Does have parallels to something that on paper has no connection, but I find these connections. The whole question of gratitude. She'd agree with every word that Heidegger's talking about.
Yeah, of course, because love for her was an incredibly selfish act. And
Right.
with contemplating existentialism and one's death, everything becomes a selfish act. Everything becomes a personal priority.
I always say in my work that personalism is the inevitable end game, of existentialism, for all the reasons we've talked about. Because all the things
Personalism, is the end goal of existentialism, according to Michael Tessarion. When I think of personalism, I think of Hare Krishna. In this book, my friend Edie Decay gave me, Enrique, that he got in a rave one time. It's being handed out by the Hare Krishna, and it had a picture of Shiva, and it said that the Krishna consciousness, or it was Krishna, I guess, and the supreme personality, right? Which they were talking about the perfect personality, right? What all the attributes, which sounds a lot like some of the attributes of God in the Bible, the Christian Bible, and also the Prophet, the Allah Subhanahu in the Quran. But Krishna was the personification to the Krishna consciousness people of what a good human being is, the perfect human being. Person. Are you a person? Right? What is a person? A person, right? And that needs to be masked, right?
We've talked about, it doesn't matter how another person handles it, contemplates it. And
I would say Aries is everything starts in Aries, brown boy, right? Aries is the personification of the person, the first sign of the zodiac. They will talk about the ego, right? It was his ultimate manifestation of a person. The Aries is I am, right? That's their mantra. Right? You're also nothingness, like Pisces, where we're at right now. So we're in a critical point right now. We're in a Pisces zodiac sign, the last sign, which leads into the first sign in this circle. The nothingness leads into the somethingness. One and the same.
Conclusions, right? It passed through their little gray cells, not yours.
Renown, right?
So what they come up with is fine for themselves. It has no bearing on your cogitation of it. Yeah. But that comes with a responsibility, you see. And that responsibility seems too heavy for everybody else who knows relying on the expert.
Yeah.
I really mean it. We are heading away from individualism at a frightening rate. AI is collectivism was another one, right? It was a invention to try and simulate tribal thinking, so that we will be able to unseat the case for individualism. And AI is that. Maybe people don't see that on the surface because they haven't read their Julian Jaynes, and they don't know that for how many thousands and thousands of years we lived as non-subjective persons.
He speaks of Julian Jaynes, who is author of the Consciousness in the Bicameral Mind, bicameral, meaning the two-part mind. And in the book, Julian Jaynes, he makes this argument that early man was more, like he said, more objective, like in meaning kind of like with the environment he was in, didn't see himself as a concrete I per se, right? It was just, going with the flow, the Tao. But it wasn't until under times of stress, extreme stress or danger, that the second consciousness would come in, bicameral. My second mind would come in, of a voice of authority, giving the person, aha! You're not just a person part of the environment. You are the player, the key player. Watch out for that saber-toothed tiger. Watch out for that tree that's about to fall. Hold on to your food storage before someone steals it. That was the bicameral mind, early man, which was manifested. That voice was like either a tribesman, a chieftain, or a king. That voice, it wasn't necessarily the person's individual voice, but it was a person of extreme authority. And over time, that bicameral mind didn't just stay around. It didn't just come around because it would during stress. Because it would happen during stress, it would help you. The ego was supposed to do. It's supposed to help you get out of situations and then go away. Right? You don't need to be on alert 24/7. So but over time, that mind stayed with us and developed and crystallized into a autonomous personality, an I, right? You see this in the show Westworld that used to be on with the androids and whatnot. There's some good stuff right there. Cherub in there, the Aries, right? The angels, that level of angel, right?
We just were robotic. And we lived as non-subjective persons. We just were robotic. And we want that again. The burden, in order to understand our world, you've got to realize that selfhood is not valued or loved at all, despite all the window dressing and the fashion statements.
Yeah, we get it. The self might not even be there, but the sake of this conversation, we're talking about the fixed sense of I that's actually always in flux and moving. That's the self we're talking about. You know what, too? People don't want to have that responsibility of being having unlimited freedom, right? And not unlimited ways to express themselves. So they rather just sneak into the group, right? Go back into the womb, go back into your mom's vagina.
The one thing people are morbidly, necrophilously antithetical to is selfhood. They're necrophilous rather than biophilous. They're lovers of death, not lovers of life. And once this is fully grasped and understood, you can now move like Nostradamus, in the middle of the whole of the fucking lie of it. You're no longer able to be fooled because you've got this. Although this is a painful fact to understand, once you understand it, you are the sage. And many things that would be impenetrable for you to understand now start falling into place. And this includes philosophies. Why did certain philosophies happen? Are they part of the self-deceptiveness? Are they part of this abstraction, the need for abstraction? We've already proven that thinking, reason, we reach a limit. And if I reach that limit, what do? Carry on saying, well, science will have a chip. Yeah, you're right about that. The mind can't answer a couple of questions, some very important questions, but it will it will tomorrow. Excuse me. It will tomorrow. Oh, okay, then. You mean like after I'm gone, dead? No, that's right. Yeah.
Thank you, Wicked, and welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Help me, NPC, grow and keep the content coming. Us, NPC. We are the NPC. I'm Gabriel. We are all the NPCs together. Keep it coming. Your support means everything. Appreciate it. Support the channel. To buy me a coffee. Every bit helps. Keep that content rolling. Thanks for being amazing. Absolutely. What do you think about this existential idea? And do you think it's important, chat, to contemplate and reflect on the fact that you exist? Or do you just feel like that's a given? What can that serve me doing? Duh type shit.
Yeah. We'll sort it out. Isn't that a collective statement? Who's this we? If I'm not going to be here for it, and you're telling me my children won't be there for it, who's this anonymous we that's going to benefit from a discovery in science 2,000 years from now? You see how it fucking...
Listen, just being here is more support than you know. Absolutely. Love you guys. I mean it.
The self-deceptive that is?
I love everyone pretty much, but I love some people a lot more than others, including Markella, Wiccan, Shadow, Brown's boy, TVT. Yeah, for sure.
I'm here now, pal. I want to know now what the answer to this is. Oh, no. It'll come in time. Give them more money. Yeah. And I'm satisfied with that, as most people are. Or some religion that takes you off-world to some abstract supernaturalisms and expect me to, believe that.
I appreciate you, Markella.
You see, because having these limited choices, we say, well, and then there's this, just blind. atheism or hedonism in the middle. I can choose not to think about it at all. Just get on TikTok. Just follow P. Diddy and the Kardashians.
P. Diddy in prison.
I'm not going to think at all, which is what most people are doing. Movies have predicted this, like Equilibrium and V for Vendetta, and so many others we could mention, right? These are all chimeras. Science is going to solve it. Tomorrow we'll have a new lead.
Michael Tretsarion has been said to be fear porn. However, I think he gives a master class on negation. Negation is the process or art of seeing the things you don't want in your life and acting accordingly, getting rid of them to make room for the things you do want in life, the meaning you give your life, right? So you definitely can learn that a lot from him and that negation.
Leader who'll get up there with just the right talismanic terms, and we are only too happy, to follow it. But have I done any real cogitation myself? Is my own life of value? Because if my own life is not of value, how can I really say that I value anybody else?
Mhm.
That's true. I heard it wasn't Jeremy was saying something that I've said before too yesterday. Yeah, all their kids are the most important thing in their life. It's all for the kids. It's true, but really, realistically, if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we be there for our kids? It's like me. If I didn't get into shape, how the hell am I going to train my son to run the triathlon and swim the triathlon and bike the triathlon he has in a couple weeks? How the hell am I going to do that? How the hell am I going to be a good husband if I can't even have stamina enough to make love to my wife, right? Too much information, but yeah, that's what we do as husband and wife. We make love, right? How the hell am I going to be a good teacher and good streamer if I don't prepare and try to get better every day in different ways, for the audience and students? You got to take care of yourself, bro. You got to put the mask on when the plane's going down, losing cabin pressure on yourself first before you put it on your child, right?
And then if I'm drenched in dread and drenched in anxiety, I fucking deserve to be. Because I have not opened a dialogue with my own conscience.
Nonstop.
I've thrown away my conscience. I've thrown away myself.
Curry, nonstop going through those screens. He never gets tired, bro. You got to have the stamina. Stamina and speed.
In dread and drenched in anxiety, I fucking deserve to be. Because I have not opened a dialogue with my own conscience. I've thrown away my conscience. I've thrown away myself. And it goes without saying, I've mentioned it in another podcast, then you should be unwell. I want you to, I think it's the perfect, and I would say it from myself. If I've done the dirty and I've thrown away selfhood, what the hell? I should be steep.
Well, yeah. The main problem would be if you weren't feeling anything at that point. Like that'll be a
There
way
you
to
go.
go.
Right. And that is the problem. Look at this artificial happiness cult.
Yeah.
One, it's just like movies like Dune have showed. We're getting to a point of critical mass that when this dread of life, gets to a point where it's unbearable, they'll have the super pill. They will have a super drug. These movies like Equilibrium and all, they are absolutely on the button.
Yeah, for a long time, the movies and the television was the super pill to distract people from their boring existence and mundane dread of a life, right? As long as I can get home and watch my prime time television. That was the super pill addiction.
We will cry out for it.
Now it's a live stream, YouTube stream.
It won't be something they force on us.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come in the form of a chip, or it'll come in the form of some headset.
What up,
Or
Joe?
it'll come in the form of a pill, or maybe a combination of all.
Joe definitely didn't have a mundane life. Man, the stories this man was telling yesterday, off the hook, legendary life. I mean, he does it so you don't have to. What's going on, Texas Blue? Much love. The sweetheart of sweethearts. Yeah. Joe's in his way. It's in his way. Oh, shit. Texas Blue. We got light blue going on. Existentialism, man. The theory and religion, philosophy, a way of being, of reflecting on the fact that you exist and in the future you will die. But in the meantime, you're the one that makes meaning to life, gives meaning to life. I am what I do.
And we will be glad. We will be free of freedom. Freed of the burden of being a self. That's the secret of secrets. And once you understand it, you'll know what people are all about and be on guard at least.
Secrets.
You'll have the edge. And you'll have the edge on the other side.
Oh my God.
You'll be able. And once you understand it, you'll know. And we will be glad. You know, it'll come in the form of a chip, or it'll come in the form of some headset. Or
I was talking about the super pill of distraction in the future that's coming up that might be here already.
Come in the form of a pill, or maybe a combination of all. And we will be glad. We will be free of freedom. Freed of the burden of being a self. That's the secret of secrets. And once you understand it, you'll know what people are all about and be on guard at least. You'll have the edge. And you'll have the edge on the other side. You'll be able to tell an authentic person who's not falling into that category. You'll have a greater gauge to see somebody who's fucking sincere.
Yeah.
And who, like yourself, is not okay with this at all. And they'll have a vital interest in the reading.
That's why it's like, be it manosphere stuff or they're like, oh, there's so many simp soy boys around and libtards and all that, or in the panelverse, nobody a bunch of losers or whatever. But hey, here's the thing: if you have a reflective life, you can point those people out and stay away from them as if you choose to. And also, like Michael said, you can recognize the true ones, like Blue, like Joe, definitely Shadow Buddha, Wiccan, Markella, TVT Brown's boy, the whole crew, right? We can recognize that, right? You don't need to dwell and have shit talking fest for hours. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone wants to bring some heat to you, by all means, give smoke back, or in my case, nuclear holocaust, if you feel moved to do so. But wasting time in this finite life by having a whole stream of weak shit talking when you don't even talk to the person on the phone, let alone meet them in real life, is a waste of time. There's too much great things going on right now. Like Shadow Buddha says, like the Buddha says, desire, which includes addictions, is a key part of suffering. Being addicted to the television, the YouTube, toxic relationships, oversex, being self-righteous, and saying no sex, and being getting off on that. All these addictions are not just standard ones, but it can be almost anything that makes you cope. So you avoid responsibility. The responsibility that we're living a life that was thrust upon us. Maybe we co-created with God before we got here and put our destiny out. But the point is, no one really knows what's going on, and that causes a lot of angst, meaning inward conflict and anxiety. Thus, people use distractions to hide that fact. But with that, some anxiety is good, though. The anxiety of the fact that you are in this existential situation of being in like nowhere, seemingly don't know where the hell you're going. But that's the void of creation. We have endless freedom to create. Or do you want to entertain, tame your energy, Tame your energy, your inner God, your energy, or your inner gangster, depending on what spectrum you are on. Have I ever seen? Yeah, Blue. Gabriel, have you ever seen the movie Equilibrium? If you haven't, you have to. Yeah, I have to see it. I've seen clips of it. I definitely need to see it now. Do I not? I don't have. Yeah, it's on pause right now, but I do have Miss Blue buy me a coffee. I wish people could hit up on this. It's a little bit more cumbersome than YouTube, but it takes a lot less percentage. YouTube takes 30%. I think buy me coffee takes like 10%, right? Yeah. I'll probably unpause it maybe if I think about it in May, right? But yeah, support the channel. Every bit helps. Just your comments support them. I love these comments you guys are making. Right. What I do is predetermined in a sense because the am existed before it came here. I was destined to follow a certain path. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. You are not the body. You are not consciousness. You are what preceded that. Listen to this.
In experience, nothing more. What is born must die. Only the unborn is deathless. To me, death is a memory of the body. Life is, death is, they are only states of mind. Find that which never sleeps and never wakes. That which watches birth and death come and go and remains untouched. That which does not die. You are not the body. You are not consciousness. You are prior to both.
You are prior to both. It's predetermined, Joe. We bring meaning into life, right? In a meaningless life. Yeah. I mean, it does have meaning because other people put meaning into life, but that's the collective. That's the collective womb. We're talking about your part in it, our part in it, individually. It's fun to be in the group and important to be in the group, aka the womb, being safe. But we have, we're here for meaning, to bring content to the world. So, Gabe, with endless freedom, Shadow Buddha says, comes too much suffering. For sure, there is endless freedom. That's the angst of it, right? If we're not able to reel in that freedom, be disciplined, right? Put boundaries from becoming an extreme, we can live a good life. Yourself and others around, for yourself and others around, for sure. That's live the example of all of us, but especially Joe Cool. There's amazing stories yesterday, bro. Some real iceberg slim shit mixed with some Cooley High, Tommy Bundy from Belly stories mixed in with that. Was Joe? It was an extreme things he was sharing with us. And it was amazing, but I'm sure if he lived that life, kept doing it, he would have burned out like a candle in the wind, right? He would have flamed out, bro. However, now Joe Cool seems to be, a lot of us, me too, and Buddha, seems to be reeling in our freedoms in a sense and becoming more particular about how we express them, right? And that way we're able to live a really good life and bring joy and happiness and some annoyance too, but we mean well to the people around us in our life, right? Joe, the Buddha, rejected predetermination, the idea that fate is fixed by the creator God or past actions, because it negates personal energy, agencies, making the past to ending suffering pointless. Yeah, that is the Buddhist take on it. Yeah. And I love how Joe said this. I understand that, but disagree. It doesn't take away agency. It provides ground. Okay, yeah. See, you guys are, man, like that's your guys' opinion, and you may say, "Hey, that's not the that's the Buddha's opinion for sure." It's still, yeah, man. We believe in what we choose to. Belly is my shit. It's the shit, bro. Here we go again. Yeah. I see a lot of motherfucking heat coming off that couch. You're gonna get yours, B. You're gonna get yours. Hey, Keisha, is she okay? She says she's sick. She don't even talk like that, dog. They got her. They got her, dog. Why you say that? She says she's sick. She don't even talk like that. All right, anyway. Buddha says the Buddha taught that while past karma influence current circumstances, individuals have the free will to make new cosmic choices in the present every moment to shape the future, right? Every moment, yeah. Shorty can't eat no books, dog. No. Blue, minister can show us the way. Are you ready to take that path? All right. Back to the lecture at hand. From an OG's perspective, and before digging into it, we got to find the contraceptive.
And what they do of a day. They won't stomach triviality. And most likely they're going to be vocational as well. Not just recreational and occupational and satisfied with that. You have to do those things. I'm not saying you shouldn't have those dimensions in your being. Of course you should. But a certain point comes where you can put those aside. They're no longer satisfying to your, own being. And you being vocational will then take over.
Yeah.
And it might mean big sacrifices. You might have to shut up shop, like many of your guests said. I just give that up. I had a great job in the corporate world. Fuck it. I told them to go fuck themselves. I'm out of there. I had to do something different. Right.
Yeah.
I had to write that book. I had to go to the ends of the earth. I had to go cold turkey for a while. I had to renounce. You'll be able to plot that and go, yeah, oh, that's good. That's a step of an authentic person. I can see what you're reading, what you're studying, the music you listen to, all of these things come to bear. It's a big help. As opposed to somebody who's putting on a performance, as you said earlier, a fashion statement of being unique, and all this. The world is absolutely excellent at that. The world's full of hysterics doing exactly what we've just talked about, putting on, and there'll be more. There'll be more acts of fake authenticity as we go. The human race is absolutely brilliant at that. Don't know what's coming next.
Curious.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Michael. This has been absolutely incredible just to absorb this information and unpack this philosophy and this idea on a deeper level. And no doubt I see the immense power in this for sure. And, I hope that listeners have received that as well. And yeah, thank you so much as always.
Thank you for giving me the chance. I mean, it's we went quite far actually, rather than just an introductory. We touched on some of the deeper issues there, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't get that chance a lot.
Well, we love having you on, man, and we love going deep with all the stuff that you're working on. So yeah, much appreciated. Michael, you started a Substack recently. Was it in the last year? You want to tell our audience how they can find you and support you and what you got going on there?
Well, I believe the book is exclusively on Substack too. Is that right?
Yeah. And other articles pertaining.
Yep.
My website just got so jam-packed, it became hard to navigate with articles. So we repurposed it. Substack's good because it's growing and it's easy for people to share data. See, if you like an article, it's easy. Boom, you can email it to your friends and share it. I like that.
All right, so that was pretty interesting, right? Existentialism. So let's just do a little. I'm gonna drop the link. I want to hear your thoughts on this theory, this way of being of reflecting on the fact that we do die in the future. However, in the meantime, in between time, we got to make meaning in our life, right? We make the meaning in our life. So let me know what you think. I'm about to drop the link. Play my intro again. Tell me what you think. And the intro is interesting because of definitely reflects this. Shout out to the people in Qatar and the military bases throughout the Middle East. They got bombed, and people in Iran. Shout out to them. Sucks. But yeah, let's talk about it. So I'm gonna drop the link after we play this dope ass video I made. Yeah. Too much, huh? That guy in the yellow outfit, yeah, that was Lil Nas X. Yeah, you see how it went from the Village People to Lil Nas X, right? I mean, the gays need to shout out too, right? In the sense of that, Lil Nas X, November 9th. Excuse me, April 9th is his birthday, same as Hugh Hefner. Day of Excess in the Book of Life, the Book of Birthday book. April 9th, Aries, Day of Excess. Birthday of Rebecca, Miss NPC, right? Love it. What do you say? Music is so ghetto. NPC, come on, be real for that, bro. Before you talk about my music, take care of your teeth, bro. You got no room to talk, bro. I never heard you play any music. You know, a lot of you people are fucking pussies. They don't play music. I get it. You care about your channel, but your channel's fucking a bunch of. I'll stop. I'm about to say island of mixed fit toy sector or whatever. But bro, oh yeah, it is ghetto for sure. I'll give you that. I'm trying to think. Okay, maybe he has a point. Right? Yeah. Well, that's kind of strange. What music do you like, Tarek? I'm curious, man. Yeah, I'm curious. By the way, the links in we're talking about existentialism, the theory, the way of being, the philosophy of existence and death, and everything in between, making meaning in your life. Right? What do you think about all that? So now, I'll give you a little crash course reel about that shit, bro. That song was fire, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything has a time and a place.
Existentialism is existence precedes essence. This means that we are not
I see you in the back.
meaning squarely on our shoulder. Find
Hold on,
purpose.
1 minute.
Existentialism is existence precedes essence. This means that we are not born with a predefined purpose or essence. Instead, we create our own meaning through our actions and decisions. Existentialists believe that humans have the freedom to make their own choices, but with that freedom comes the responsibility for the consequences of those choices.
Geoverse TV, what's the deal? What's really going on?
Hey, how's it going, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, if this is not okay, I can make an amicable direction toward a wired headset as well. But good evening, brother. How are you?
I'm pretty good, my friend. Since you're my brother, I forgot how we met.
Well, you know, brother in breath, brother in two eyes blinking, brother in digesting our food from today. You know,
That's true. Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about. So,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
as a ex Bodhisattva inquirer, I believe that existentialism saved my life. I'll be honest with you, because as a veteran, I had to find that balance and
Okay.
focus on a quali narrative to, balance myself outside of the, take a pill narrative, right? But
Right.
about 2 years after, that pineal awakening, I guess you can call it, I arrived at Christianity with logic before faith. So I stand. Yes, sir. It
Is that the
just holds.
receipts?
Well, the receipts that are beckoned within my ethos. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, man, you're speaking my language a little bit. I think you must be my big brother because I mean you're talking that high powered stuff. I like it. I like it though. We're gonna hop on that in a second. Joe Cool, what's going on, bro?
Finally made it.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a
Here's-
little Doctor Who in that intro there. This gun hand shooting, the gun hand. It's just you put those clips together, right?
Yeah. You talking about the gun hand?
Yeah, the little guys walk down the street and their fingers drop off in the gun.
Oh yeah, that's from an old British TV show or music video.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Doctor Who.
Kind of like a Fembot, but it was a dude like from Austin Powers type shit. Yeah. I mean, we're to go along with what we're talking about. I mean, if you don't examine your life, you're almost robotic, seem robotic in a lot of ways, right? Gio, did you see yourself as that before? Seeing yourself like going through the motions, like an animatron at times. I
mean, if we look toward like a movie of reference, like The Matrix, right? Like I do believe that I was a program set to a certain direction, but I did have to deprogram myself and, you know,
Oh,
do a hard reboot, hard reset, and reset not the factory setting, but install my own software for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
In order
It's
to do
like
that, go ahead, Joe.
it's like other things around here trying to interfere with our programming, and especially when we were young, it got in there easily. So
Yeah, I
while you're
call it.
programming
Sorry.
yourself to be what is yourself, your real nature, your baseline, you also got to deprogram to get away from so much nonsense. It's like twice the task.
I could not agree more because, you know, the Bible does speak of the deceiver, right?
Yes.
So, just metaphorically speaking, or rather, I guess philosophically speaking, I do agree with you that there is a force of deception that is winning when it comes to the planet in general, because we don't all agree on one absolute. Most people that I speak to, you know, on YouTube, TikTok, they believe in subjective good and evil, subjective reality, right? But me as a Christian, because of my epistemology that I now have, there's a system above me that, whether I like it or not, it's an unchanging standard. And that's what shifted me away from Buddhism toward monotheism or Christianity.
Buddhism doesn't recognize a divine intelligence or something.
They don't believe in God, but they believe in Christ consciousness, that you can attain godhood. So I just saw myself opening too many doors. I closed enough, but kept one open. You know?
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Buddha and I have been having this discussion because most of the people around us, they are under the monotheist act. I call it. I don't mean act as disrespectful. I mean that's my Chicago friend getting in my mind. I mean that the program or whatever, right? In a sense. But I remember we were talking, and Shadow Buddha was telling me about how like there are times when Buddha did address God when some of his people he was teaching or wanted to dialogue with them. He said, like, more or less, I'm paraphrasing, that there is a God per se. There's God. It's just kind of like above his pay grade. He was saying.
Well,
you know,
like, the way he would speak,
he's not trying to. There's other priorities for him. Other than getting that, yeah.
Well, if you look at like just ethos to ethos, right? What is the one unforgivable sin?
Something you get
right.
The one unforgivable sin. Yeah.
It's supposed to be offing yourself, but that's
negative.
not mine. I just hear what other people say.
No.
Blasphemy.
Yes, blasphemy meaning blaspheming the Holy Spirit. So if Buddha was speaking of Christ consciousness of his own creation, kind of like how an atheist says, I prefer X thing, so X thing is good for me. And if you base it on your own self-perception, the Bible says we cannot rely on our own understanding. So if it's the case that our mind is finite and we should be okay with it at a certain level, there are people that break that wall and say, no, I want a higher IQ. I want a higher value to myself. I want a higher knowledge, a higher knowing, a higher authority on somebody else in certain subjects. So
wait. All of those things were separate from higher authority. All of those other things alone, I didn't see a problem with it. But when you said people want higher authority, that's the first thing that was inherently wrong at one of those attributes.
Is pride a good thing?
I'm sure that that everything's a season. I'm sure there's a time for it.
I think it as a tool it can be. Most of the time, no. The way most people
generally, I
to be a
most
catalyst.
of my time trying to defeat my ego. You could call that pride. So generally speaking, no.
Well, according to your logic, ego death is one of the primary steps to enlightenment, right?
I would think so.
Right. So if ego death is the key, then to be consistent and to be impeccable with that death of ego, you have to be humble. And to be humble is to be okay with authority above you, right? Control what can you control. Don't worry about what's outside your control, right?
I thought you said have people who want to have control.
Yeah.
To me, that's the way I recognize evil is by he who wants the most control over other people. That's just my discernment for evil. That's my general go-to. Number one, look at the more a person wants to control you, it is directly tells you how evil they are. So Most people don't want to control other people.
So if a parent tells their child they
Take kids
cannot
out
have,
of it. Be nice, adults.
I know.
Take the kids out of it. Just adults. You shouldn't
Okay.
want to control other adults.
Phenomenal. Why do you stop at a stop sign?
Because I don't want to get hurt. Some niggas gonna jump out from a bush and beat me up or rob me.
Okay, that's valid. Legally, as far as coercion and deterrence per the law, why do you stop at a stop sign?
I thought I just answered. Did something change I was unaware of? Because someone will beat me or rob me if I don't.
Is that your proprietary definition of being arrested or being cited with a ticket?
Say yeah. Well, and whatever they do to me,
Right.
That's yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
you would agree that we exist in a system where we may not agree with the law or order, but we have to abide by it, correct?
A law, not the laws that man come up with. Those are probably evil, created by some evil fuck to generate money and control people. But there is a law that we're supposed to look at, chase, and follow. Constitution says that it follows that law. Freedom, life, liberty, like as if it acknowledges the things I acknowledge. But then they make 87 laws that say they don't really believe that shit.
Right. But my question is whether we agree with it, we like it, we dislike it, we want to combat it. There is a system that is objectively there that tells us stop at a stop sign, stop at a red light, right?
I agree.
And a red light will always be a red light, correct?
Well, unless something changes, yeah.
So I rather live in a society, right? So X is society, A is faith. A and X are the same. So I rather have a faith or a society that's governed by a red light that will always be red. It's very clear. No matter who you are, where you come from, we see a red light, we agree.
What up, Marilyn?
X thing is a red light. So when you look at moral objectivity, I'm okay with the fact that I don't have to discuss or debate when certain aspects of human nature are evil or good, right? People argue that how can you ground yourself on somebody being evil, right? It's your opinion. No. At a certain level, we can all agree on certain variables of evil and also good. But if you don't ground your good on God, how do you ground it?
Well, I'm not sure. Do you ground yours on God?
I sure do.
I ground mine on God.
Okay, good.
But I think that leads us to different directions, though. I don't think God would say that that it's okay to follow any law man-made and just say we all agree with it. God, I don't think he did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some horrible things have been illegal, right? When I was born, it was illegal to interracial marriage was still illegal in 2 states, I believe. And that was the law. I don't think God would say that these things are just because whatever the fuck. No,
right,
fight these things.
But are these 2 states, do they have like a state church?
Does what states? Oh, I don't know. This is
Okay.
in the late 60s. I don't know.
So the only concept in which a state can govern their state with Christian laws is if it's a Christian state. Like, for example, the Bible Belt. You got North Carolina, you got South Carolina. That's where I'm from, but I'm in Florida now.
Are you saying that northern laws don't account for marriage or something?
No, I'm saying that cultural law of today is not aggregate to the cultural law of the time of Jesus nor Abraham, right? We don't sacrifice sheep no more, right?
They would have had their own cultural laws.
Right. So if you take a law, like, for example, you have to be over 21 to drink alcohol. You couldn't find in the scripture that says you need to be of the 21st age to drinketh the alcoholeth. No,
we can. Okay, but we can agree that if such a thing existed, and they said if you get caught drinking alcohol, we're gonna, the people in the bar must stab you. We can agree that that would be an immoral law, and we should not follow it. Yeah.
I mean, that's an illogical law that
logical or
doesn't
not.
exist.
We do agree that we would not follow that law. Yeah, because you know where I'm about to go behind that.
I mean, if you're saying that today in 2026, if there was a law, if you find someone drunk, you stop them from driving a car.
No. I said in the bar, everybody must pull out their knives and stab them. The law is you must have a knife and stab the drunk guy so he doesn't drive.
I'm intrigued on where you're going with this. So
No,
so
you're
I'll grant
not, or
it.
you would have answered.
I'll grant it. Go ahead. I agree
All
with
right,
you.
all
That
right.
law would be
This
ridiculous.
okay. So it is ridiculous. I had to go there just to get here.
Mhm.
It looks like we do agree that there is morality that says some laws are just crazy. Let's examine some of those laws that are just crazy that you shouldn't follow because the person who made
Sure.
us a crazy fuck. The law that tells me I'm in Chicago, I'm an upset citizen for smoking weed, and we love you and thank you for your tax money. And if I step 6 feet over a line, says I'm an evil guy, you owe me money, and I get to steal your car and your weed. The guy who wrote that law, objectively, he's a fucking clown, and we can get rid of him, right?
Okay. Would you have the same energy if you were given a ticket for smoking a cigarette at a school?
Be salty as fuck, nigga. I smoke cigars. I smoke cigarettes
Right.
everywhere. Cigars everywhere.
So
Oh,
if
you
you're
mean
at
in
a
a school,
Smoking
not at a
cigars at the
school.
school.
In a
hold
school,
on, pause,
man.
pause. So if you're at a recital, let's say, you know what I'm saying, at a recital and there's an adult there just smoking, you know, fellow parents smoking a cigar in auditorium. Do you
Yeah.
believe that society, not the law, but society would not agree, get this cigar smoking guy out of here?
Well, I believe that society could come to a negative about the guy, and I hope they don't put their hands on him for smoking a square and find different ways. But I think your point still holds. Society would be against him if that's
Right.
your point. Yeah.
Right. So if you remove the Bible, remove, you know, God's law, the social consensus would be that right that you think you have to smoke anywhere you please. Like I was
Right.
born in '88, so I remember in the bar you had peanuts and ashtrays. That
I
was the thing,
remember.
right?
Yep. Those little. Yeah.
Yeah, like in a restaurant, like there'll be a smoking
Yeah.
section and a non.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
today that's not the case. So as I'm also a smoker, right? I have to admit that I have to be okay with the fact that I have to go to the smoking area, right, at work,
Right.
or even in the armies, smoke
Right.
pit. You know what I'm saying?
That was the
So-
first laws you talked about where moral man would agree. You know, there is an area we agree. Moral man, if you care about other people, meaning you're
Wait.
moral, you wouldn't make them smoke your square, like in an
Actually-
elevator in enclosed areas.
Right, but I actually don't agree because are you saying that it is your right to harm yourself and everyone should
Yes,
ignore?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. I
Okay.
am.
So for
That's
example,
stupid, though. I mean, I don't mean to say
mean,
like that. Stupid.
that's-
That's like not. Wait, hold
that's
on.
not
real quick.
objective. That's not
Hold on.
objective.
This,
Go ahead,
this
sir.
is what I'm trying to get at. Bring it back to existentialism. I think looking at your life and reflecting on it, there are a lot of crimes that go on in violence outside of us, but we do more crime. Most people do more crime and violence to themselves, against themselves, than anything that every day, than when we witness. I think, and like health is one thing, like smoking cigarettes is one. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, that goes back to yesterday's conversation. You weren't here, Gio, about the policing and stuff. And I was thinking about it last afternoon, and I was thinking about like, do we really police ourselves though as much? You know what I mean? Do we hold ourselves accountable for the way we treat ourselves and the way we disrespect ourselves? And and that's what Joe, and the thing, like, I was thinking about, like, how do I police? How do I monitor policing? And I'm thinking that probably internally, which will reflect an outward way I do things. Hopefully, if I get my shit cleaned up. So,
I'm not sure I understood that. How do you monitor the police internally? I think that means if I make myself a better man, I'll do a better job outside.
Yeah, if you don't break the law and they pretty much attack your rights, right? You win. So if you stay stoic enough to stand firm in your good nature or good choices, then there's no tension there. Like, for example, if I got pulled over and he said I was speeding, but I wasn't speeding, he didn't clock me, he searches my car with no suspicion, articulation, I remain stoic. I don't get upset. I don't appeal to my emotion, and I just wait for my check. A lot of us don't know our rights. So is ignorance above the law? No. If you don't know your rights, then that is your fault, not the system that is available on Google right now.
Wait. I would say, yes, it is definitely your fault. I'll give you that. But I hope you're not freeing the evil trick master who set up a system and took advantage of these low IQ fucks. He's still guilty too.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm autistic. I
That
talk
was
a lot.
about it. That was about it. I
But
know
what
you're
other
not
system?
removing his shit, right? You're not saying that the guy who came up with this
That was
clever
what I
trip
was.
to
I was kind
rob
of
you of
talking about that stuff.
So
all
what
of your
society?
money.
So what society that has a police force would you prefer to live in?
You talking to us, Gabe?
Yeah. I was trying to say, like, I wasn't. I mean, I thank you for like adding on to what I was saying, Gio. But I was more talking even more inward, meaning that the way we treat us. It's funny, like how when I say we're doing we're hurting ourselves, I'm talking about not doing what we're here to do, or living a meaningful life on our purpose. You know, doing
I
what our
like it.
purpose is.
That was very
So
direct
that's
of
what
you.
I'm
I
saying. I think
understand
that's
that.
more egregious and damaging than a lot of
Okay.
the stuff that we see going on, and the violence and we see and injustice we see going on outwardly is because people aren't policing themselves.
Well, I
You
don't
know,
think we disagree with that one, right? But that wouldn't change.
so
Go ahead.
that's why. Well, that's why. To me, these conversations about the law is fucking kind of boring to me.
Yeah, I
Okay,
agree.
I would
For me
disagree. I
personally,
think
and
that's this next step. Once you, if you consider yourself, you have to do all these things to better yourself. You're not wrong. You're absolutely right. But the next step behind that is you have to show all these tricks and tools. You have to use them for the betterment of others. It couldn't be to end it yourself.
yeah, I could. Why not?
Why
Because
not?
that'd
Yeah.
be selfish, and that would have nothing
No.
to do with the Bible and all of that bullshit.
No, but he ain't talking about
It
that.
depends. Everyone has their lane, bro. Like, so
I
just to
think
say,
pretty
like,
much every religion says you're supposed to spread the good word.
Right, but you can also lead by
the religion is
example.
right. What makes you
You're
think that
supposed
the
to do the
religion is
shit
right?
by
The way
self.
it is?
I gave you that, and I'm saying you have another duty
But
too.
I'm not.
If I
living
can
in a-
respond, because he keeps bringing up the Bible.
We're not. No, hold on a second. Respectfully,
Yeah, you're good.
we're not. I'm not, Joe. I'm not talking about living in a vacuum per se. And policing myself. I mean, like policing myself, then interacting day to day, and giving meaning to my life. And for you, it
Very good.
definitely means showing us the traps of society and the fucking.
For you, it means
horrible
it in your
policing.
own ways. It means enlightening.
Exactly.
I don't even know, but in your own ways, you're trying to enlighten somebody to something.
Yes.
Yes, that is your duty. Yeah.
Of course. So, but like to say, I guess it means that this snobbery-ish stuff I see going on is like when people say, "No, you're not doing it like me," so
right,
you're wrong. Type
that's
shit. When in
scary.
fact,
However, there may be an argument over there.
Accurate.
There may be an argument over there. Too much compliance. You know, you're a piece of shit. I don't know how else to express it. And I'm not talking about you per se. Generally speaking, the nigga that my worst argument is the compliant motherfucker. He makes my life miserable. The guy that lays down for the bully every
a law-abiding
time.
citizen? A law-abiding citizen offends you?
Yeah. Yes, I think it's yes.
Well,
yes.
sir, I'm the neighbor that will call the authorities. You may not want to live in here. You know what I'm talking about?
Kyle.
I'm a Karen, sir.
Kyle.
I'm a Karen. I'm a Kyle. I'm a Kyle. I'm a Kyle.
I got Dennison. If you know Dennison, Gabe, that's how Dennison to tell you proudly, nigga, I'm gonna obey every law. But he also doesn't like them, and he acknowledges that it's wrong for them to do these things. But Dennison would proudly say, "I will call a cop." No, I don't know if you say that, but I will.
See, the reason why I don't like, because if you listen to what I was saying, Buddha and I were talking about this yesterday, Shadow Buddha, like, I will acknowledge the fact that, yeah, fucking most cops are, a lot of cops are out of pocket. They're on a power trip and they're doing this shit. But, like, I'll keep that for the most part to myself unless I see them fucking with somebody personally or they're doing it to me. I'll keep it to myself because, you know why? I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm a snob. I think they're kind of like, okay, you have your badge and your gun, that's cool. I respect give to what is Caesar at the moment. However, I know who I am. Well, I come from the line of the King of Kings, bro. In a sense, like so.
I understand that right now the
shit.
world is upside down, and you're in charge right now, and you got an evil guy got your back. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm a king. That you just got the upper hand right now.
Yes, sir. The champ is here.
Right.
We gotta for you, Gio, Shadow Buddha, my brother, he has some stuff about the Buddha. He said Buddhists believe in devas, demons, etc. in their respective realms, but they're not worshipped. They're not beings in their own realms and expire, die based on karma. And then he also says the Buddha doesn't believe in a creator God. He claimed that Brahma was self-delusional and thinking he himself was a creator God because he was the first to appear in the heavenly realm. To Buddha, Brahma isn't a creator God. Other heavenly beings appeared after Brahma, and Brahma assumed because they appeared after him, he must have created them. The Buddha said this created delusion.
Brahma.
Thoughts?
Wait, so he
Brahma is like
is,
who they think was God, that the Hindus, which was Buddhism, came from.
Oh, well, that logic doesn't hold.
so he's a skeptical polytheist.
Who is
Buddha.
Buddha?
Yeah,
The Buddha?
the Buddha. The Buddha.
I wouldn't know.
Well, if you read like the stories of Buddha, because remember, like I followed guys like Alan Watts, Terrence McKenna. So I was definitely in a very, very esoteric, literary place to where I did ask questions where who am I is possibly the most complex question that I still can't answer to this day unless I operate under the Christian, framework. But if you remove that, right, to believe that one would be delirious to believe in like an absolute God, I would agree. Because if you tell me, Geoverse, tell me what your God is like. What is he thinking? What does he feel about America? What does he feel about Europe? Any Christian that says, God told me to do this, God said go here, they are a blasphemer, okay? And beware ye false prophets, for wolves in sheep clothing will come to you with scripture, because the devil knows scripture better than God, but better than you or I do. You know what I'm saying? So the point of the matter is that I can agree with you that men are evil. Man is wicked, but it's us to have discernment, right? Because discernment is a word that we can both agree with. With discernment, self-awareness, and ego death, you can actually unveil that deception every single time it knocks at your door.
At least you got a better chance at it. If you're honest, that's how you get the true discernment.
Exactly. Integrity. Yes, sir. So, but when I hear, oh, the system that I live under has me under an iron fist, you have to think about those that were called martyrs or saints, right?
Yes.
I'm not saying you believe in them. I'm not saying you're a Christian, but history tells us of men who stood for nothing or died for everything. You know what I'm saying? So again, pick your battles.
What's your name? What is your name, bro? What's your name? Geoverse. That's right. I knew that.
Sir.
All right, Geo.
For you.
I dig it.
Yes, sir.
You say
what do you mean? Well, hold on, with Joe. What do you Waken Music says? What do you mean the left has no moral foundation?
Oh, thank you. That's a very good question.
Geo said that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say that. ChatGPT answered my question with a picture.
Okay.
So the reason I say that is because it's more like a question, right? Is it the case that if you base your moral foundation on your experience, how you feel, what you read, who your parents were, then it's subjective. And if good and evil are subjective, then your definition can change based on who you are. But if your morality is objective, meaning it has a moral foundation like Christianity, then there is no confusion. Because whether you like it or not, moral good is moral good and moral evil is moral evil.
Okay, so do you think the left has moral foundation?
I believe that the left,
general statement.
I believe that the left has no ability to become orthodox in their moral foundation. They can tell me
they're further away from being Christians. I think he's saying
they can tell me how they feel about something, but if I ask them a critical question that would make them hurt someone's feelings, right? Because sometimes the truth hurts. So harsh truths are avoided by the left. Yes.
As opposed to, and I hate to say this, as opposed to the right who accepts harsh truths openly.
Yes. We can conceptualize hard truths, but we can still stay grounded in certain choices we make.
No, they can't.
Like, for example,
we're talking about generalists. They can't always.
Yeah, that would be easily defeatable.
They can't more than the left.
Don't give me an example of what they can, because I agree there are times when they can accept the truth. I do believe there will be a multitude of examples where they cannot.
I just feel like,
and I think you'd agree, and we shouldn't have to argue that.
I just feel like it was going to go toward Donald Trump, and I'm used to it. You know what I'm saying? It always ends up to You voted for a bad guy. You're a bad person.
I don't care about all that, bro. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah, you having
you,
futures
you vote for you
conversations.
vote for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But here we go real quick. First I'll say this: the classical liberals were pretty awesome back in the day. Well,
I
here we
agree.
go. So here, Newt Grew, my one of the most awesome show contributors, says obedience is the highest fake virtue. Law binding equals you refuse to take responsibility in favor of your oppressive force to gang up on you. This is violence, which works until it turns on you. And here he is, right here. That was awesome.
Good evening.
Oh, that's
Very,
awesome.
thank you, Guru, because I was about to have him read it 4 more times. And
Yeah,
shit. I
actually,
think you're right, though.
well, I actually disagree with that.
Well,
And I
let's
would
hear
love
him
to
say it and
engage
say
him.
it.
Yeah, clarify if you need to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a fact of how things work. It's very simple.
Is that contextual or objective?
Objective.
Okay.
Very objective.
May I pose a hypothetical to test your
Of
law?
course. Of
Okay.
course.
So now the host did mention a taboo of mentioning smaller life forms. But let's just say family. You're in a car with your family and you're being pulled over. The law dictates stop, yield to the right, pull out your license. You say no. I don't agree with the law. So objectively, I'm going to speed. And in this speed of you being, not adherent to the law, you crash. Now you're hurt. Your family's hurt. Is your journey in subversion of the law worth hurting others around you?
He's silly. He's silly, bro. He's silly. Go ahead. He's silly.
Very, very
for that
simple
one.
answer to this. The outcome is cause and effect. It's not based on. You can put that down some fake law on a piece of paper. It's not going to change the outcome.
If you're an idiot doing 90 and wreck your family, it had nothing to do with the fucking speed sign.
Right, but
And at the same token, I could be going 50 and somebody comes and plows into me. It changes nothing.
right, but the law dictates that you should adhere to the law of the speed limit in accordance to the road that you're on. Correct?
The way I look at it is, I take it as a suggestion, and usually for something like speeding,
Right.
the way they set that up typically is they take the lowest denominator of the person who is like the oldest person, the person that is the most decrepit, yeah. And they kind of generalize blankets like that for everybody, and I'm not saying there isn't any merit to that, but I can decide for myself. I don't need somebody to dictate to me what safe speed it is that I need to go.
I take it a step further and say he's a psychopath. It's if he think you doesn't adhere to it and you hurt no one, I did whatever, I get to take your money and subject you to certain things as hard as it is out here. I think
Yeah, by
that
this
dude
logic,
shows psychopathic tendencies.
right? By this logic, I mean, why don't we just start putting speed limits on sidewalks? Because you can turn a corner too fast and run someone over.
Well, hyperbole aside, if I ask you a question, like for example, if we looked into the fact of the matter, right, as to why there are traffic signs, right, clearance level, curve left, stop, red light, green light, are you saying that the etymology of the meaning behind stop signs and speed limits objectively says there's a reason why it's 55 here and 70 here? You're saying that your interpretation or your preference holds higher authority to objective reality?
Yeah, you cracking me up, bro. Go ahead, Guru.
If that means I choose for myself, then yes.
Okay, so you reject all objective truth, is what you're saying.
It's calling a fucking speed limit that some nigga came up with who probably dead now objective truth.
Okay, so how
it exists.
How do we come up with speed signs?
We explained that already.
Curb angle, blah blah blah. Old people,
So
the street, blah blah.
So, for example, in neighborhoods, why is it almost always 25 miles per hour?
Because it makes a lot of money.
Okay,
yeah,
because
I'd agree with something
because
like
there
that,
may be children at play, a high commute, especially during work hours and school hours. But even with school hours, why in school zones with the lights on are we supposed to adhere speed? And also, when a bus stops to let a kid off, we get a ticket if we pass that bus. Why are those things in place in a system that you call corrupt?
to make money.
Because like the sign says, there's slow children at play. I always thought that was funny, by the way.
Yeah, you
Slow
stupid,
children.
yo.
Okay, so
Go ahead, dude. Dude was gonna say something.
I'm asking legitimate questions to somebody that had a great long paragraph that they posted.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's comedy, then yeah. Fuck
I'm
them
laughing at Gabe.
Come on, bro. Like this is first of all, by the way, first of all, my name is Gabriel. You call me the host or whatever. And I mean, every now and then, levity is okay, bro. This is how we do it here. I mean, thanks for giving me your take or whatever. I was gonna say what I said. I'm letting y'all talk about a lot of shit I don't even care about right now.
I know, but earlier
that, like I'm learning. Hold on, bro. It's on the fact that I'm learning something, right? But with that said, I was gonna give him a chance to talk, bro. I mean, we don't have to be so serious all the time. Go ahead, Nude.
Well, I think is there a question? I thought I already stated the point, but I'll reiterate it if need be.
Oh no, I asked you a question. Can you demonstrate why we should reject objective reality?
Why we should project objective reality?
No. Why should you object to
no.
reality?
1 second. Why should we reject objective reality based on your interpretation or your preference?
I never said to do so.
You just said I will infer on my own what speed limit I should be in.
Correct.
Right?
Not the same thing.
So when you hear the word accountability, what does that mean to you?
You'll have to add more context.
In this instance, it means that because I'm a responsible dude, I'm going to slow down when the kids are getting out of school and all of those things. That is me taking accountability and responsibility.
I agree with that. And all those things, notification, esoterically rejected, right?
I don't think he did.
That's what I heard.
You said that
you misinterpreted.
Yeah, you're saying that their standard of 20 is objectively this is the truth, and if you don't open that line, objectively this is the truth. Truth is, I could go past and look and see no one coming and avoid hitting a kid. It is not objectively true that I was going to kill somebody, because that the fucking didn't obey I went 25 instead of 20. It's not objectively true that I became exponentially more dangerous to the kids around me. That's not objective. Just because they said
life
20,
is,
right?
But life is dangerous anyway, and for your safety is always the front runner gaslight excuse to impose
restrict you of your freedoms and control you.
Yeah, and also make a lot of money.
And rob you,
yeah. So my icon, I'm going to read it one more time because Gabe asked about it earlier. Some argue the left has no moral foundation, right? Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is that there's no system above your pretext of preference or your opinion or your feelings that you adhere to. You operate within your own system. You are God. You are truth. You are preference. Therefore, there's my disconnect, right? When I go to work, I hate it when it's cold. I hate it when it's hot. I hate it when I'm grumpy, but I do it because I must. It's a moral ought. I ought to do a thing that I don't enjoy. I ought to follow laws that I don't agree with. So
everyone goes up TV, I see it as like someone can see themselves as little g, God. Like, yes, we have choice, what we think is choice, and we can use your imagination to do cool things. However, we're not the God with the G, with the big G.
Have you met a Buddhist?
Huh?
Have you ever met a Buddhist?
Live in Taiwan, bro.
Yeah. He is of divine order. He is a Christ-like conscious person who is of the same edict of the fifth dimension. Because if you can astral project, right? To astral project is to exist in a higher plane. It's a real thing. I was there, right? I opened that door. But at the same time, I'm thankful to God that I reset myself to where I know that I'm safe and those around me are safe.
Are you Orthodox?
I'm sorry?
We kind of digress a little bit.
Go ahead, Nude, then I'll ask my question.
Okay, thanks. You just a minute ago you were leading to a point where you ought to do these things. My question is, why ought you?
Because if I would like to pay my mortgage, I would need to go to work to receive that fund. Now, that doesn't say that I couldn't shift my career to where I never left home. But the fact of the matter is, the production that I produce needs to continue being produced.
So there you go.
Cause and
So
effect,
it's
right?
not really that you ought to, it's that you're constricted in doing so if you're going to operate in the boundaries within those constrictions, but it's not that you don't have some other options, right?
Feeding my children is a boundary?
No. The specific things that you pointed to there, you adhere to the ought to being if you want to make money. You can feed your children without making money. I feed myself every day without making money.
So if
this is where there's going to be a segue here, because I live a very unorthodox lifestyle to what you're probably conventionally used to.
Based on what?
Very self-reliant,
self-entitled.
Well, everybody's self-entitled. I don't breathe for somebody else.
Not really, because I do not rely on my own understanding. Therefore, I'm more of a sponge, hoping for water every day.
You're no different than everybody else. You using your discernment is using
that
your
objective?
own understanding.
I mean,
yeah,
not
only that,
people right now.
Is yours. It's not mine.
There are people right now, doing things that the common rat wouldn't do. Therefore, I would disagree when you say that we're all the same. That is
okay.
Hyperbole.
I was saying everybody leans toward their own understanding when they use their own discernment. That's something everybody does. You act like, damn it, I don't know. Other people don't do that.
No. Hey, Gio, are you a Orthodox Christian?
Of course I am.
So, because somebody wanted me to ask you, do you agree with the tag argument that Andrew Wilson and Jay Dyer argue from? The basic, the basic argument that if God does not exist, then the necessary preconditions for intelligibility, logic, morality cannot exist.
Well, I always go to Corinthians 15, where it says, if not for the resurrection, then what are we doing? Like, if Jesus Christ indeed did not resurrect, if he was indeed a mischievous gossiper, and God is just a fabric of our imagination to adhere force and authority over others, then I would probably rely on Stoicism as my foundation, based on observing those around me.
There doesn't have to be a one. Life is very fluid, and this is how I live. I switch up like water, if you want to say, to fit the situation as needed.
Could you live
it's
how
very
you live?
Balancing.
Could you live how you live in a different continent?
Yes, and have.
Really?
Yeah, he's sure of it.
So for example, I'm a Christian, right? Could I choose to be a Christian in Iraq?
Don't know, never been there.
Okay.
But I'm sure
Islam rejects apostasy, right? And for example, Poland don't accept no refugees, right? China, communism, right? So it's very, very self-entitled, the word I used earlier. And I didn't mean it as an insult, but I owe you no ill will. I don't know you from a can of paint. This is just words. We're making sound.
Never took it as.
So because
what does self-entitled mean?
So
I've heard of it.
So you wouldn't disagree. I'm very entitled.
So to invite to invite the chatter that asked the question about Jay Dyer and Andrew Wilson, I would adhere to my epistemology over what I deem is cool or not cool. But if you entitle yourself, hey, because I like bubblegum, I'm gonna chew bubblegum, or if I like ice cream for dinner, it's of highest utility to me. And if you take that and you say everyone should eat ice cream for dinner, if everyone is like you and had ice cream for dinner, that would quantifiably be a net negative, whether God is real or not. So if you remove God,
if everybody like you, if I could interrupt a little bit, if everybody were like you, then Bob could wake up tomorrow and say, no ice cream for anybody. It's an executive order. And that would be objectively shitty too and evil.
How would I make an executive order? I'm so confused.
Bob was Trump or any president could wake up tomorrow and say ice cream is unhealthy for you. I make an executive order. You can't even eat it. You're talking about his ice cream analogy is fucked up. Under your shit, if it becomes law, you just do it. It's objectively fucked up too. Your way is objectively fucked up as well.
Hold on, newsflash.
Are we going toward Trump now, bro?
Hold on, Wes. We can go towards I want to say this real quick.
Go ahead.
We're talking a little bit about
We're definitely going by Trump because you're scared.
So
it's
Like we
Hold
just
on,
ended a
it's-
war in one day.
No, no, like
Hold on.
W Trump. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
So speaking of Trump, newsflash: Charles Darwin says Iran's leaders confirmed dead. Wow,
Yeah,
that's big news.
How we know that? They've been
That's
saying that shit
big
all
news.
since yesterday or something.
That is a big. I'm very sorry, guys, but as an Army veteran, that is a big W for America.
You don't have to be.
Understand, I get it.
You don't have to be sorry. It just shows you're guilty. And if I spend 5 minutes testing you, you're gonna fold like a cheap suit.
Were you guys unhappy when Charlie Kirk was unalived?
Unhappy? What do you mean?
Yeah,
I'm asking Joe Cool. I'm asking Joe Cool directly.
You
Joe
guys.
Cool, were you upset when Charlie Kirk was taken out?
Do I look like a monkey? Well, I don't know. Some people like it when people die. I don't.
Wow, are you saying that black people liked it when Charlie Kirk died?
I didn't bring in black. You just did.
You said monkey. That's weird.
Yeah, you just thought it meant black people.
But
That's
one can
weird.
infer if you're talking about a group of people. And you
One
say
just
monkeys.
did infer. You did.
I'll say
no one
this.
else.
I'll say this. Charlie Kirk said a lot of out of pocket shit about black people, though.
No,
He said some good stuff. He did some good stuff too, but he did some
Not really,
some crazy
man,
shit.
but okay.
Hold on, listen. When I said monkey, I was just talking about do I look like a low IQ person? I wasn't
Yeah, that's what
referring to
you're talking
anything
about. Yeah,
that
why
came
you
out
go
of
black?
Charlie Kirk's mouth.
If anything, white people have that chip lip with like a flat lip.
Wow.
No lips and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, you brought it up, bro.
The
You
reason
brought
I
it up.
say
Joe,
that-
Joe wasn't even talking about like that. Like,
Well,
but
Joe
yeah.
is kind of like on the defund the police, BLM kind
You
of.
don't know.
aspect
You're
of
making
the world.
assumptions, Joe.
I mean,
Most people do.
you've only insulted law enforcement 9 times since we began.
So you
speaking.
assume I want to defund the police and all of that stuff?
I mean, if
He did,
like you did go a bit hard on the system that takes your car and money because you smoke. You know what I'm talking about? Like you said it, brother.
Right.
So I'm only adhering to how you hold.
No,
yourself.
no, no.
Hey,
You're
can I ask you how you
stuff.
found this show? By the way,
No, just please, you
yeah.
might run them away, man.
I'll
be honest.
Discord was it?
With this, no Discord at all. I actually found you on the feed of Nothing But Lives, and I always look
really?
for small
Holy
debaters.
shit.
Yeah,
That's
like I usually go for like small channels first, as far as like me interacting. Because I'm
Yes,
also
I
a
have a
small
micro
YouTuber.
channel. I'm not ashamed. Go ahead.
You're not a sheik.
He's
I'm not
out of shape,
ashamed. I said I have
Oh,
a
not
micro
ashamed,
channel.
my bad.
I'm
No,
not ashamed.
dude, I barely have
Micro.
30 on YouTube, but I did have 1.6K on Twitch. So I'm more of a gamer than anything else. But I just
Yeah, we
like
saw you were
that.
trying to promote your channel. Actually, my mods.
Was I?
Yeah, they're trying to find your channel so they can promote it. But you're more on Twitch, huh?
Well, it's my new channel is what I have on my icon, but my actual channel that I debate on is TikTok. I got about 6.7K on that one. So TikTok is
Really?
Geoverse TV. Yeah, I debate.
Nigga, drop that shit, bro. I wanna see
Yeah,
that
I
shit.
mean, look, I just
But
bought a house, bro.
anything is that
The
what you
office
debate
is being
about?
set up right now.
God?
Well, I mostly debate Muslims on theology and whether Islam is true. I also debate morality in regards of how we arrive at it based on like, Trump is bad. Okay, Trump is bad. What is bad to you? And you find that when people can't define what bad is, then everything else they say is habagosh. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's walk into that. I'm gonna set that trap. I'm gonna walk right
I mean,
into it.
I'm gonna give you the key before I invite you in. I'm gonna give you the key. The
God damn,
safe
you
word
got
is
like 2
bananas.
million
Okay?
views on some of this shit. You got a
The
lot of
safe
views.
word is banana. Okay,
Anyway.
go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I might need that. All right. The left is shitty. We'll go back a bit. The left is shitty. We both agree. They
I
don't
can
think we
understand
said they don't use critical thinking is what we're saying.
Yes.
Something on okay.
Yeah,
Something like
they appeal to emotion. Yes, sir.
As if the left is one unit, which I must ask then, is the right one unit, and they all do not do whatever it is you're accusing the left of.
I can only speak for myself and the
No.
thousands that I've spoken
You just
to.
spoke for the entire left.
Okay, so
surely you can speak
one
for
second,
the entire right.
I can clarify, right? So in clarification, if you are pro-choice, I'm talking to you. If you
Now he's
believe
about to
that men
dodge
can
my
get
question.
pregnant, hang on. If you believe that men can get pregnant, I'm talking to you. If you believe that orange man bad because he's bad and ICE is a bad thing, I'm talking to you. So if that qualifies in any way you being left, then I'm talking about the left.
Okay, no, I was asking you about the right. Remember? Why'd you jump back over there on the left?
Yeah. So there are many.
I'm talking about the right.
Right. There's center. There's moderate, and radical. Which one?
Oh, wait.
Just for the record, left and right is far from critical thinking. But
Yeah, like
I came in the
on
room
both
thinking
sides, there's levels to it. There's radical left, center, and moderate, and there's also libertarians.
Interesting. You didn't make that distinction when you said the left. You say they all act on.
Okay, can you read the entire picture? What are the first two words that are on my icon? Some argue.
I can't read that shit. No,
It says some argue, right? Some argue. Keyword crux. Argue that the left has no moral foundation. So when you see that, you say, "What do you mean by that?" I say that the left that fits in these categories have no moral leg to stand on, while they argue on certain aspects of morality.
Wait.
That's my argument.
So when I asked you about the entire left, you just meant the certain few part of the left when you talk about the left.
Yeah,
well, but I'm
argument.
supposed to read
sir.
Listen, I'm sincere here, because I think you've just changed when you said the
I'm
left.
trying to help you, brother.
Hold on, you're not if you're talking over me.
Right.
What world do you live in? Well, that's helpful.
A world where if you don't get what I'm saying, I can clarify it for you.
But you're disrespectful, bro. One at a time.
Go ahead, brother.
If you were able to say that the left thinks a certain way, you should realize that I'm going to assume you mean, Democrats. You should not assume that I was going to zoom in on your icon and know you were just talking about a few when I started talking about left versus right. That was all I was going to say.
I'll grant it. Right. So what argument that the left supports do you believe is moral?
Left of one that not one union and all of that shit. So I'd have to, I think, go to radical left or something. I don't even believe in that. First of all, they're right. People are people. Some they're gonna have moral ground on some, and right's gonna have moral ground on some. And I should also say they both are wildly immoral. Anyone who believes it is not too bright. He hasn't thought it through. So you're asking me, what's the best thing the left said and the right? You're asking me, which monkey is the most intelligent? And I'm not talking about black people. The orangutan got a so-and-so. It's who cares? I don't believe in that dynamic, and I think you're trying to put me over there. But for sake of argument, I do think you're afraid of the right's immorality, because you keep running from it by saying, "Oh, you're gonna bring up Trump." Make a nigga like me just want to bring up Trump.
Wait, Joe, if I may, and I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to re-ask my question. What argument that the left of any category,
I don't want
like for example, is abortion moral or immoral?
I don't want to argue abortion right now.
So why would you ask about my picture, and then what about Islam?
Wait. I started talking to you and said I wanted to talk to you. What's the verse? And now you want to talk about abortion. If I'd have brought up abortion, if I wanted to talk about it. Remember, I told you I was going to talk about.
Who you ask,
brother.
I told you I was going to talk about Trump, and you said you were comfortable with it, and you gave me a safe word. Now you want to talk about abortion on the left.
No, you literally asked about
I continue
my
down
background.
my line of Trump shit?
Tell me why Orange Man bad. Go ahead. Tell me.
All right. With Trump,
because he's dysgenic.
Let me just give one thing here. With Trump blowing up the boats, the drug boats, was that immoral?
No, that was justice.
Very good. So you think all drug dealers should be killed, or just those riding in boats?
Well, the location is very important. Like if yeah. There are restricted
It's a yes or no question.
No. Let it go. Let him go. This is great. Let him himself.
In accordance with in accordance with
the I'll wrap it up.
In the accordance with isolation of force, immorality is not of the question. Like
wait.
If you fuck around, you find out.
I asked you, was it immoral, and you said according to what?
According to the escalation of force doctrine.
Do they determine your morals? They determine your morals.
Are all Marines going to hell, brother?
Do escalation of torch of force and them determine your morals? I think the answer is no.
Again, there is no moral compass in the United States military, sir. Unfortunately, that you would understand.
Dude, I didn't ask you all of that shit. Come here. I'll ask you again.
You're literally asking me, are Marines that went to Iraq going to heaven? That's what you're asking me.
I asked you, do other men, in this case, the military, determine your morals?
No.
Very good. So let's leave them out of it.
There is no choice when the commander-in-chief gives you
I
orders.
didn't ask you what the military's rules are. You're scared to death.
So are you
I'm gonna
supporting
let
treason?
Gabe give his show back because
So what
you
if
don't want me to pin you down.
So what if when they were giving the orders, they said no, I refuse,
Something
and they
weird
commit
will probably
treason?
happen that has nothing to do with
Is
Trump,
that person going to be a hero?
which is
in
what
America?
you wanted.
Again, if you hate America, brother, like the door's right there, you know.
If I did, I'd tell you. You could ask. I'm
just
genuine,
saying.
sincere, and I
Like
don't
you,
dance.
like you
and
say I'm
dodge
rude.
like you do.
You say I'm rude, but like you're calling military men lacking of critical thinking because they commit immoral acts. If that's
I
the
asked
case,
you about.
Hey, bro,
if that's
his
the
opinion,
case,
but let's
Okay.
enough.
but if that's an opinion,
You're-
let's
you're
look at the factual.
Put in I
Oh
put
my
in
God.
the period on that.
So
I mean, you should
what
have
else
a.
so if
Maybe
you look at-
you should get
Okay.
a. Bro, I'm talking.
right.
Dude,
Go ahead.
maybe you need this is your first time here, so I'll give you that. But like, bro, maybe if you like to debate so much on YouTube, you should have your own channel. And debate.
Your mic went a bit weird or
I
something.
mean, if this is like
Hello,
a
can you hear me
bias-based
now?
channel and
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
insult the military's intelligence, then that's cool too, I guess.
Yeah, but Nude Guru, and in the channel, what do you think about this? You said you won't find a Buddhist apologist in the debate sphere because the Buddha specifically said to not argue about the Dharma with others because one should be focused on the Eightfold Path. And my thing is, Nude Guru, like, what do you think about the whole debating stuff? Is there any use to it? Because it can be annoying to
Not a
some
bad
people.
question, Gabe.
Yeah, the truth is offensive. Yeah.
Yeah, debating is futile. Discussions are healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of debate channels in the panelverse and stuff like that, but it spills over to like
Wait a minute.
channels like myself. That's not a debate.
When you
channel.
say panel verse, what do you mean by that?
It's what you're doing.
There's what you're doing right now. There's a specific section of YouTube where a loose net group of YouTubers, you know, that like have a lot of the same audiences, and they, you know, they go in each other's streams.
Do you know
So
Dusty?
that's what we call the panelverse.
Yeah.
Do you follow Dusty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the powder Dusty. Yeah.
Sarah Tomato?
Oh yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember like the Sarah Tomato and Andrew Wilson beef?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
What side were you on?
What side was on? My side.
Okay. Do you believe
Which
in the
is-
power? Do you believe in the power of the panelverse?
What does that mean?
No. I mean, what do you mean, like what side?
That's literally
Bro.
Dusty's slogan that Andrew Wilson should have known.
Oh, well, here's
Well,
the thing.
actually, no,
I don't know.
Sarah-
have
Sarah
you
Tomato
heard of the?
said it,
Hold
yeah.
on. Have you heard of the Panelverse Awards? NPC Panelverse
No.
Awards.
No.
Okay,
Yeah, they
well,
got awards
that
for
was
this
a
shit, yeah.
well. That was I put on an award show on my channel, second annual one. And this last January, it showed the lack of power of the Panelverse when Rob Noor cleaned up in a lot of the awards and whatnot. The point
Oh,
of
yeah.
the thing is like both sides were acting kind of goofy, but I can understand why Andrew was annoyed and Rob were annoyed, and I can see how Sarah was just trying to have fun, but in doing so, she seemed to kind of like miss out on a golden ticket, as Andrew would say. I agree with that.
Have you ever read
But
the
that's her
48 Laws of
business.
Power?
That's their business, though.
Y'all have definitely read the 48 Laws of Power, right?
I have.
Yeah, and 50 Cent's version too.
Right. So what Sarah did, if I'm wrong, stop me. Never outshine your master.
Yeah,
What if you
I mean
don't
that's a
have
good
it now?
motif. That's a unless you don't have one. Yeah, that's a good saying, and it does. it's true
Andrew
a lot of
Wilson
times, but
literally
as a master,
made her channel. Like
Right.
before Sarah, Andrew Wilson did have a partnership with a female. It was Discord based, and it got huge. That woman did the same thing, sabotage Andrew. Her channel depleted, and then Andrew started going into Destiny's debates, and then Sarah started hosting a couple, and people like Sarah, right? It was funny, the grifting, you know. She had a couple campaigns where her family was going through a lot, and we all helped out. You know, for a long time, it was great to have a moderator that was unbiased and also knew how to debate, right? But when you saw the stream where they saw people ganging up on Rob, kind of like what almost happened today here. I ain't gonna lie to
Hanging
you.
up on him. No, I think that's a little different because Rob is. They came to Rob. You came to us, and if there is a us, You know
Right,
what
so,
I'm saying? Like,
imagine if
and
me
actually,
and five guys came here.
there's
and-
been times when you've been kind of rude, bro. A little out of pocket, bro. Like, I have to
No,
say,
no,
man.
no. I mean,
Like,
I'm very direct,
come on,
and,
man. You're
and I'm very,
told.
very self-critical. So I
Okay,
hold
okay.
myself, like, if I hold myself to a standard, I'm not gonna hold you to a different one, right? So like, I just can't be compelled to like be lax in my logic.
Okay, I respect that. I just
Mhm.
respect the fact that maybe because you don't know me, or you're getting to know me, I really don't like absolutism, like overly, where people are like, "This is the only way," and maybe that's on me. However, I don't like it though, bro, and I see that a lot coming right here, where you have your opinion and I respect it, and it
Agree.
makes a lot of sense.
Complete
However,
silly ideology.
there's other people that are getting some good stuff, but you totally like shit on it though.
So are you saying that a Christian has come up to you and said, "Join Christianity, or I will punch you"? Or like, have you ever been
Yeah, I'm
threatened?
sure that's exactly what he was trying
Of course,
to say.
that's weird, bro. That's like
Right, right.
That's
So like,
exactly what
it's your
I heard
tone,
him
so like,
say. Yeah.
as far as
I
like
get
how
what you
I
said,
debate,
I know.
I don't ever debate
I
to
don't debate
convince the
though.
person on the.
Joe does. I don't
Well,
think Nude Guru debates really either. We dialogue.
No, not interesting.
We dialogue, right?
I pinned down jelly, which means I'm your
Fucking
worst
boring,
nightmare.
bro. If I want to fight someone,
Right.
I'll go.
Right. Okay. So
I'm
if you
Well,
ask me a
most
strictly here to
question,
debates
bring
are
out
just
your
juvenile,
hypocrisy, man.
egotistical words
Yeah,
coming out.
exactly.
And each side is mostly just talking to themselves, you know.
have you ever heard the word cope before?
Oh no. We just woke up yesterday, bro.
Okay, so the
I'm cool
etymology
on
of the
that.
word cope.
You really
I'm
insulted
cool
our
on that.
intelligence
Wait,
by
wait.
asking us. You ever heard this and that?
We're having fun.
You
Listen.
sound very entitled, my friend.
No, I'm not. I'm asking questions and making.
That's why you keep bringing it up.
Hey,
Listen, brother.
Gabe, do me a
Come on,
favor,
bro.
man, and please, just in
What up?
all due respect, don't take too much offense to it. I
Drop
don't
this
want
guy.
you to get mad or
Drop
him to
this
run
guy.
away. He is
Yeah.
play
Okay,
with
I would
my
never do that.
food.
I'm just kidding.
Please don't
I
rob
didn't
me
even
of
know
that.
it. What'd you say? Joe, what'd you say? I'm sorry. Go ahead. The
I'm
last part.
saying, please, all due respect, please don't rob me of my food. I want to play with.
I mean,
It's
respectfully,
so-
Gabe has been protecting you the entire time. If you want,
Joe is frothing here.
if you want
It's
Gabe
my
to stop,
identity.
if
I want to
Gabe
talk
would stop white knighting
existentialism.
for you, I would love to offer you this.
What the fuck?
But so far,
that
Gabe
was-
is like shielding you from your own suffering, sir. Do you want to ask Gabe permission to debate me, or
lately, bro? Like, I'm letting these guys play along with. I had Cage the other day. Now we got this going on, bro.
no? I'm asking, like, does Joe have permission
What?
to debate me?
What? Yeah, maybe like on another broadcast.
Okay, yeah. Just Joe, follow me, and we'll schedule it. But I would decimate
You want to you want to debate? You want to schedule
37
this
seconds.
for like soon. Joe.
Yeah.
No, I
Joe
mean,
and,
I
versus
mean, respectfully, like you told me to do this on my own time, make my own channel. So
yeah, I did.
I'll probably do it elsewhere.
Why
I mean,
not
if you
do
don't-
something a little more sensible? Just put points out for objective.
like maybe like if
observation.
you host a debate,
Maybe if I could get a sentence out.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah.
I'm not interested in actually having a debate. I just wanted to chase a line of logic with you. I wasn't asking for
you
a
want
debate.
wait, but logic is debate. Like logic is a
Okay.
tool that you use to debate and arrive at a conclusion. So if you don't want to arrive at a
Agreed.
conclusion, then
We could do that here, which is what I was seeking to do. Not all that stuff that you're talking about where I'm going to set up a debate, blah, blah, blah. I was just wanting to chase a line of reasoning with you. Do you want to call it a debate? As long as you understand what I'm talking about right here, right now, chasing a
Well,
line of
this ain't your
reasoning.
house,
That
this
was
ain't
all
my
I
house.
was
And
asking.
Joe doesn't need protection. Shadowboot is right. Like, yeah, I don't protect anyone except.
I mean, you stopped the debate that was going on because of
no,
semantics.
because I'm bored with it, bro. Like, we have New Guru. You guys don't even care, bro. I know it's not your show, but like, we have other people on the panel that haven't even really said nothing. You should be like, oh, under the marathon comeback, like, New Guru, what do you have to say? We haven't heard from you because we're running our yaps so much.
Okay,
Good.
so
That
I
hey,
bet.
hey,
So,
by the way,
Look at that
that's
burn
why
here.
Joe yielded with the debate shit was to do good form, to have good
Okay.
form in the
all right, well,
room.
Thank you, Joe. Go ahead, New
I
Guru.
sub to
What's
your channel,
thought?
man. I'll
Why not?
definitely look forward to seeing you moderate a debate. But yeah, man, if you guys don't operate on logic, I guess I'm wasting my time. But y'all are gonna.
Don't leave nowhere. Don't leave.
Wait.
I mean, there's
Say
nothing to
something like-
discuss.
And like say
Oh,
something
well,
like
I talk too
disparaging and then
much. I'm
off.
too objective. I'm too honest. I'm too mean.
Yeah.
Nobody
Right.
said-
nobody
now
said
you're acting
half of
like
those
you
things.
sick. You ain't being all
I-
emotional.
I don't
You
want to
do
hurt
what
your
you like.
feelings. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
New Guru. Thoughts?
Okay, there's one thing that I'll point out that came to light when I was listening earlier. This subjectivity of morality. Let me just say this. If morality wasn't subjective, there wouldn't be no discussion about it. The very fact that you can actually have a disagreement over it is your clue that it's subjective.
And then your
That's
proof of it being objective being what standard some guys set as the objective truth. That makes it even more crazy just because they said it.
So
That's weird.
So let's say, for
Here's
example,
just one little elaboration to that. I don't
No,
actually
wait, hold on. Take your
operate.
time. This is hold on. This is resto rules. If it's a full screen, let the guy talk until otherwise. Go ahead.
And that's why I won't debate you guys, because it's an
No,
unbiased.
be nice.
Good.
Remember
It's an unbiased
decorum.
panel.
Be nice. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I'm
Nuclear.
not interested in a debate, just a discussion. Is
I
a
know,
discussion
man.
cool?
All right. So, but if you're wrong, I'm going to say you're wrong. Is that fair?
If you disagree,
Yeah.
say you disagree. That's fair.
Of course, but a healthy adult back and forth, sharing views, being objective about it, nothing wrong with that, right? So you're actually talking to somebody here as well who doesn't operate through the eyes or the lens of morality like that. I use a completely different compass gauge.
But what is preference?
I don't use
Give
good
him a
and
little while to
evil.
go, bro. Give him a little while. Let him work.
I don't use good and evil or things of that nature. I use healthy, not healthy, toxic, not toxic.
Right, but why can't I just ask questions to understand?
Go ahead.
That
Now's the
worldview?
perfect time. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you're saying that morality is based on preference or choice, then how can you enforce immorality? How can you judge someone on being immoral if morality is whatever?
Healthy or unhealthy, he said.
Well, let me ask you where you came up with it sounds like a presumption or assumption was just made there that I'm doing such a thing.
Well, you're saying that you ground yourself on choice, preference, and self-observance, meaning that you ground your own understanding on morality. You don't adhere to a system. There's not a book you can go to. There's not a church father or tradition. You're just you, and you're great at being you. And good is good because it's good for goodness sake. So my question to you is, if
I was with you up to the last part.
Right,
bro.
So if you were to describe a society that operated like you, subjectivism or anti-realism, right? How would you enforce authority on what you would describe as immoral?
I'm not interested in enforcing anything.
So you
first assumption in your first step.
Okay. So would you agree that your system could only work for you?
What system?
Your preferences.
I don't know what you mean by work for me.
Could a society
only work for
brother?
him?
Can you let me and him kind of have one-on-one?
I may not.
All right. That's very, very intelligent. My question is, if you took your mind, right, your worldview, and you quantified it to where the entire society agreed with you, not the world, just the society that you live in. If somebody is in charge of enforcement, law enforcement, or bookkeeping, or accounting, or law and order, what would law and order look like in a subjective world?
It would look like me not being there because I wouldn't be somewhere where that was the case.
So you're okay with looking at objectivity for what it is, but you reject it for yourself?
No. Why would you say that?
So if you live in a society that agrees with you, you're saying that you would not like to live in a society that agrees with you?
No, I'm not saying that either.
Do you understand?
I don't know how you're getting any
coming out of my mouth.
You should probably add, I don't know, man. It seems like assumptions are built into a lot of this stuff.
I understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. They just aren't coming out of my mouth.
According to you, what is immoral? Give me an example of somebody committing an immoral act under your worldview.
That's much better said.
Immoral is a subjective view.
I'm asking him.
He asked for yours.
Like I ask him, and then he answers, and you answer. I'm asking him. Go ahead.
I don't have one.
So you raise your hand. All right, look. So I'm gonna leave now, but I'm gonna leave with this. You raise your hand in class only to say, "Teacher, I don't have the answer, but I'm making sound," and that's the important thing.
Oh, you got him. You're so cold. Woo,
I'm not
leave
even
him at a high
talking to you,
note.
Joe. Like you're worse than a feminist. Like it has to be about
I
you,
know.
or it don't matter.
I know.
I
Leave.
But
I set
host,
the
you have a good night,
stage.
brother.
I set the stage
Right.
and precedent
Nah,
right from
I'm
the very
Gabriel, by the
start
way.
that
Like
I
you
don't
have,
operate myself or
like you have
see
the
through
morality
the
of a
eyes of
5-year-old, brother.
the same moral compass that you do. I don't
I
operate
didn't say
myself
you
that way.
did. I'm asking if everyone
That's
felt
why
like
the
you.
answer to that question stands is the same. I'm still
So you
standing on that.
again, copium. You're exhibiting high octane, copious erectus. You're coping, sir, because if you don't have an answer to a question because it doesn't fit your narrative,
I
that is
have an
why the
answer.
left
Can I,
or people like you do not
before you
have a
go,
moral
I
foundation.
gave you my answer. You just didn't
Geo
like
how are
it.
Stevens.
you, Gio? You said that he's coping. Okay, I'll give you that. But like, how are you coping
But
in life?
the question that I'm
I
asking
asked
you
you a
is
question
mine.
though. You said you
The
accused him of
question
being
that I'm
like
asking
identified.
you is dependent on your
I'm
mind.
asking you a question. What do you cope with in life? Since you're gonna call him,
What do I cope with in life?
like,
The
how are
fact
you
that
cope? How do you cope with life? Like,
yeah, so
what's your cope?
I lie to myself when I tell myself that this tobacco feels good. I cope with tobacco.
Okay, that's an easy one, but that's
Yeah, but
yeah.
Cope with that
all right, so for
Republican
example,
shit, having to scare to death somebody gonna
all right, so
bad
for
mouth Trump and the
Christ,
Epstein
thank God I'm not
files
gonna
every
die.
day. He copes with that shit by running and trying to avoid it. How the fuck you vote for Trump, man, when he got damn it tried, excuse me, Lord, tried to hide them files? You still support Donald Trump before you get out of here?
Oh shit!
Did he already, or we just can't hear him?
I don't know.
I can hear something.
Maybe his icon still is something.
Was there actually another reason he wanted to leave other than he just didn't have an answer to a question?
And part of it, I wonder, was it because he
I
couldn't
don't know.
run shit the way he wanted to run it? I wonder.
Yeah,
if
I
that
think
was
he
part
like
of it.
already exited, but he's still here, or he's waiting for me to kick him. I don't know what the hell. If you want to speak, I'll put you down here. If you're, you can come up. Let me know. Flash your thing if you want to come back up. Okay. All right, that was interesting. Yeah.
It just seems like he wants to engage in nonsensical
Fighting and stuff.
Fighting and debate. I'm just not interested.
Right. But see, he couldn't get that what he wanted, so he left. And then tried to blame us.
The points he was even bringing up to ask me didn't match anything that I was saying.
No.
Complete nonsense.
He kept trying to rephrase you in a certain box and start from there, but the boxes were so shitty.
Rephrase me, assume for me, put words in my mouth. It's the classic example of somebody who wants to do those types of things. They're looking to be right, not honest.
Right, and I think it's fascinating how he says like new guru is coping, which he probably thinks about all of us, like we're coping, like, and that's kind of like a shot of our underlying being in a sense. However, when I ask him in good faith, "What are you coping with, sir?" He goes, "Oh, I smoke." It's like, come on, that's an easy one.
He did
Come
pick
on,
the
bro.
gate shit, didn't he,
Come
man?
on, let's go.
And I'm not so sure that he thought we were coping. I think that's just his shtick. You can tell he has one. He's been developing it. Copamine. He couldn't wait to bring that word out. That was part of the shtick. We were going to get accused of that no matter what happened at the end of the day. That's what.
Am I getting this straight? Was he drawing the conclusion that based on my answer when he was asking me about give me an example of something immoral, and I said I don't see things that way. He's saying that that's some kind of a cope.
Yes, I think so. But it's funny to me the way I think about it. I always try to like have resonance. So, because I like the way you put it. Some more. You literally said healthy, not healthy, right? Instead of saying good and evil. Because healthy, not healthy, I can literally put my hands more around that.
Rather than engage guru on healthy, non-healthy, he went somewhere else.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that.
But it just shows you how we have kind of a different way of looking at things, me and him, because like I would see it as like, okay, he doesn't use my vocabulary, but I see it what new guru is saying is kind of similar.
And you engage him there because you're not afraid. You're not going to prejudge, nigga. Oh, you're a Democrat. Oh, you think Trump should be murdered. Oh, you don't like because you're prejudging because you're so nervous and shit.
If I can elaborate on that, there's very kind of deep reasons why I operate and choose those as my compass gauge.
Yeah,
and the first basis is because is one thing that we cannot do is we can't get around that we are living in a very limited subjective vessel, right? So we're far from knowing so many things. And so what I try to do is I try to maintain myself in a position of being as neutral and objective as I can through this subjective vessel. And I found that through deep observation, these specific things help me to do that. Whereas good and evil, this type of stuff, I see that as being distractionary programming that gets people into nonsensical and nonsensible, non-objective views and keep them distracted from being able to maintain a balanced, healthy, peaceful outlook and operating with each other.
Clearly. Just being so invested in that left versus right debate bro dynamic, he was unable to communicate with us.
Yeah. I mean, but Joe, you're the bridge because, like, obviously, like, we don't really engage in that.
Speak that language at all, right?
Yeah. But like you do. What is the appeal of that? Is that because of you think that's like a link to like your activism in the sense that you?
I don't think.
Like
I think it's. I don't think it is. I think it's just chasing logic. It's kind of a puzzle, and I enjoy it a lot. It's like a competitive puzzle. It's like playing chess with a nigga in my head. I don't think it's a lot more than that. I think it's just an ego chess bullshit. You know, I see it because I spot it. I bet you I am right because I spot for motherfuckers to say something contradictory, and then I jump on it. So I know that's what it is about me. I just want to prove I'm smart or something.
No, but you do it with some grace too. You get heated up for sure, but then like me, that's actually you got me a debate lightweight yesterday. I guess you can call it debate. yeah, you're having a good time with that. Like, and
I did.
And I have to say though, it's like God bless the dude, like for having you know, he has his own way of viewing things, but it's your tone, fam. Like, it's like, why do you have to? He keeps saying. The reason I say self-entitled because he put it into my consciousness, and I'm thinking like, am I self-entitled? And I look at him, I'm like, bro, you're the most self-entitled person here.
Okay,
you know,
I think me and Guru saw it in one way, and you guys saw it in one way. And he did mean entitled in a negative way that you think you're better than people entitled, blah blah blah. And the way I saw it, and I think
owed everything because you're so this. Oh, actually, without earning it, that's what the real meaning of it.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
That's the thing. That's the thing about words, right? They can have different meanings, and people can decide what they mean. Now, if you were to ask me, because you didn't hear me disagree about the entitlement thing, but I have a different view on it. For me, I see entitlement as actually we're all beyond entitled. We're so actually beyond entitled that you can't even keep your feet off the ground if you wanted to, right? What I don't see though is that any one individual is more entitled or less entitled to something than anybody else. That would be a subjective idea, and there's no need for thinking like that. Not even in a survival sense. It just causes unnecessary discord, fighting, and abuse, and even war.
Yeah,
over nothing. It's pointless.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun. I wouldn't say pointless. I really enjoyed it.
What's so fun about it?
I don't know, but it's like a video game. I love it.
Yo, that's the realest thing. I don't know. I just love it like a video game. I love it.
Well, the vessel, and there's this, you know, if you look at it deeply, I've observed this too. There is an aspect of dopamine rush that gets
that's
integrated.
Probably it because I'm an ex-addict motherfucker, so that's probably it. Yeah.
Right. And if
it's
you look
like
at it from
right,
from a kind of a feral view, which is what I've spent a great time trying to get myself to emulate or be like. I see it. There is an aspect of gamification in the wild of survival of the fittest, and that's gonna kick in as a necessary survival thing. But it's only necessary for certain situations that you are going to temporarily need to mitigate to get over. Right? If you didn't have that, and if you don't get back to balance after, you're probably going to traumatize yourself and do damage to yourself.
We were talking about that.
I'm already at peace and shit after, and dude's probably angry and has a lot of baggage and shit behind that shit. You gotta let that shit go. It can't mean a thing. It's gotta be just play the chess game. If you mad and come by my house and want to shoot up my car, you fucked up.
Yeah, and I think he's more like Joe. He's more happy. He's probably listening to this, but like, yeah, they're talking about.
I hope so. And then he fight with me next time. At least, I hope he like, yeah, I'm gonna fight this nigga.
I mean, I would talk to him again for sure, but it's just like, just be a little bit more respectful.
What was his name? Asaverse,
Geoverse TV. He's on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I probably won't run into him. Well, he say he be fucking with Dusty and shit. Maybe I'll see him over there.
It's funny, like how he's telling us, like you're telling us the story of like, bro, we're tired of that. Actually, we've been embedded in that, right? That some of us anyway.
The story, what story? Oh, yes, yeah. I thought that was great.
Bro, who you talking to?
Yeah, I thought it was great because of the way he exposed himself. Since exposed, maybe, but he was like, did y'all choose sides? Whose side was y'all on?
I know, it's like,
that was interesting. The guy who says shit like that, man.
Yeah. Oh, talking about that, I guess the instinct of the animals, Nude Guru. Michael Tessarion in the video I was playing earlier in the existential video, he was talking about James Julian's Bad Calorie on Mind book. You ever heard of that one? Where it talks about the origins of humans got their ego, kind of like where like in the past, humans were more, early man was more objective. Right, in like basically one with nature, in the environment, and didn't really have the need to be.
That they
and they were more like the tribal mindset, the group mindset, right? And very rarely did Julian James said very rarely did this one consciousness, I consciousness come into being only during times of extreme stress and strife and angst that would come in. Right, like for example, if an animal was chasing them or something, a voice would come in their head that normally wasn't there, be like, "Hey, get out the fucking way!" You're gonna get chomped on, right? And he was saying that a lot of times that voice, when it would come in, it would be the voice of the chieftain or the king or someone with authority in that person's mind, but it would go away once the threat was over. They go back to be more communing and like this, group minded and oneness. However, what happened? Something must have happened, like some mass event, cataclysm. Maybe it was a pole shift or something crazy that embedded that ego in our mind, and it just stayed there forever, as we know it today.
Interesting.
So, I mean, what you were saying.
I don't know if that's the only way. It is definitely a way, and I don't think that's the only way that they would have come into the I and thought about themselves. Everything you said is absolutely right. When they're with those people, because they were with people, it would have come up less, so much less than what it does now. But I think there would have been more moments for it. There'd be times when they get off alone and have to do something and recognize I as an individual.
For sure. I was being an exact hyperbole kind of like.
Yes, but it makes absolute sense. That was a great fucking point. Yeah, you're right. It would be less I, and that makes me think. And I hope I don't trigger somebody with this word, but a communal society, at least where you're friends with your neighbors and shit, would be healthier.
Yeah, you can be friends with them, but you don't have to engage in their political beliefs or religious belief. Look at me, bro. Like, I'm totally not. This is not my programming. Living here in Taiwan religiously, people burn money paper when it's a full moon. They leave offerings to their ancestors in front of that. I don't do that.
Wow.
However, I respect that, and I can comment with them.
They give offerings to the ancestors. I guess a lot of people. That's cool. I'd be videoing.
I have a way for that too when it comes to those things. If it's not imposed on me, it's none of my business. I don't need to.
Yeah. Do you ever engage though? Like in or do you keep to yourself? Because I'll ask this because you and Joe, I'm looking at it. I do. You don't have. You don't.
I do.
You said
I do.
You do. Okay, good. Because this reminds me of like you and Joe in your own way are doing this. Have a similar way about you in this panel verse of not having a lot of karma or these other people's drama attached to you. With a lot of people here, they do that shit where you can go places and just, it's just you're authentic in the self that you can just state your purpose.
I understand what
you're about it. Like Joe does it more so like in the field, because he goes a lot of places, and like, which is actually very fucking, I don't know how you do it.
But it means what you're saying. That shit doesn't stick to me. That doesn't allow you to go to other places. It means whatever you're saying. It means it's true.
Right. Then Nude, on the other hand, I don't see him in many places. I see him in the chat more. However, he still doesn't have that shit stick to him.
Right. Where some side thinks he's got to. He's be with them. You're right. Right.
And that goes back to this whole thing about the womb. All week I've been sharing.
I've been thinking about that shit. You fucks got me thinking about nipples versus
like going into the group.
Shit. Does it attach to your social?
Going to the group is the womb. It's going back into the womb, and you're not really expressing your individuality. Now there's a time and the place, but a lot of people, panelists, for example, they take comfort in the womb, which I understand is fun and all that. But then again, I don't even really know who they are. They might not even know who they are because they're so busy. Like
as long as they get that, as long as they get the fix that makes them think it's womb like, they don't have to know. They don't have to know any of that shit. Whatever that fix is, they get that thinks it's whatever it is.
Because some of it's in that man's and I see it in Gio's religion shit. Like that's his womb.
Yes. And he loves
maybe cop watching is your womb community.
Yes. Yeah. I think cop watching also behind that drug addict shit. There's probably some twisted, fucked up shit in there. Man, being a drug addict and then you go straight to cop watching from selling dope, undoubtedly there'll be some trauma in there somewhere.
And it's interesting how it's like intertwined. There's a lot of quote unquote ex-criminals. And in that field, when you think like, hey, I want to get away from this.
I don't think that it's illogical though, because he who has much to lose cannot affect change. The more you have invested in the system, the less likely you are to be in there. So
you've been on the other side, so you know how it is.
Even a 9-to-5 nigga don't want to be out there, and he's gonna have to come up with reasons and excuses. Why? He don't have to. He shouldn't. In fact, if he a man,
but he will.
If he a man, he'll just continue on his way and do what he feels. He won't feel some type of way because he's not out there doing what I'm doing. He'll be fulfilling his manly shit in his own way, and he'll be content with that.
Yeah. So, Nude, is he? Did you meet him through that? Loosely? Did you meet each other through cop watching community, or
me and Joe? Yeah, I think so.
So
I remember the first panel we were ever on together. I can't remember whose it was though.
Wow. What attracts you to that, Guru? Cop watch that community or that information or content?
That's one little small aspect of an array of I guess activisms, if you will, that are part and parcel to me learning how to mitigate the challenges of the authoritarian life. And
it's the best way. It's a direct path, isn't it, man? Yeah.
And my journey to learn how to succeed and mitigate it and live a different lifestyle. All of it kind of comes together. So I've been watching that along with doing a lot of research on the hows, and that was just part of it along the way. For a long time.
Yeah, I can see how that's bright.
I can see that would be my true way into it too, probably something like that. And I want to learn for it to see how I can I can navigate this, so I can play my own games in the perimeters.
Yeah. Yes.
It sounded weird.
Yeah, no. It does sound weird, but I think I get it. You can refine your interactions in the way you're gonna handle by watching that shit. And I think proof is when you watch those videos, the average Joe, he could be watering his lawn. You pull up on the wrong nigga, and he handled it totally different. So, sir, you're on my private property at that 25 feet. You're just a nigga watering his grass. This could be a threat nowadays. So,
in addition to that, there's a little bit of ingratitude for people doing a lot of things in different areas along my journey. that I'll never even get to meet, that just out of their own generosity and kindness, and whether it was just putting a piece of information on a website somewhere or making a video or whatever, that greatly helped and assisted me to get to where I needed to be. And so I see the value in that, and in turn, just being me, sharing that information and value in my own way,
You've
of a
been
variety of different ways.
invaluable in my life, and fucking valuable. I don't remember the first time, but I remember. I always tell people everywhere I got, I've been drugged there, kicking and screaming. Everywhere that's good, and that's shit. And that's I remember giving you so much shit when you was talking about the public. We were, in particular, the conversation we was having about should you be able to go into a library at night. And I was jumping all over you, and I was wrong. In retrospect, I know now I was wrong. But nigga, that don't make no sense. What you mean? What you mean you don't own shit? What the hell? I was so yeah, we started that. And now, I've watched shit on my own, some of the shit I watch on my own, at the places I come, these arguments I present in here would not be nearly as sharp if we didn't have them first conversations and continue to have them conversations. I mean, certain niggas.
That's how it works. And I could say the same thing about other people as well. And there is something to be said for the amount of time you spend and invest into going deep and learning the crux of the indoctrination and the programming, and not only to help yourself out, but when you take accountability and responsibility for that, and it works, you can help other people who want to do that too.
Something about going into the indoctrination. Yes, if you were saying that when you realize that it's your duty to go into there and figure out the depths of the indoctrination. I think that's why I have such a knee-jerk reaction to left-wing or right-wing thinkers, because I know on some level they're unwilling to go into the depths of indoctrination.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to reap what they sow, though. That's the end of it, right?
You're saying there has to take history, right?
So that's where I have a line where I draw. I don't waste time with time wasters. I'm very particular as to who I spend any time with and attention with, and they have to be genuine and meet a certain curriculum for it to be meaningful. Otherwise, what am I doing here? Then I'm not accountable to myself, right?
Right. I think that's why I don't want to waste it on debating with somebody. I mean, we can still hit those points for sure, but doing it in that way, it makes me feel like jumbled, my nervous system all fucked up, and
it would take away from it anyway. Anything here where you're trying to get to the bottom of a thing, if suddenly you put it in a debate setting and you put a title on it and all of that shit, it takes away. Now we're performing for the audience and trying to score gotchas. It takes away more than it can ever benefit. Conversation is much better.
You're right. And speaking of gotcha, Texas Blue says Joe is a Republican. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Holy shit.
Let me show you a bit of reflection on how meticulous my self accountability gets for this type of thing. Can we concur that breath is divine?
Yes.
In the sense that you're talking, absolutely.
All right. So breath is divine. It's also a limited quantity, right? None of us have an infinite amount, far from it. Yeah. And every breath that we is one breath closer to being the last, right?
Yeah, it is.
So if I'm going to do anything other than make the most of that, I'm literally slapping the face of divinity to my own peril. Why would I want it? Right? So my focus while I still have breath, making myself accountable to myself first and foremost. That's why I'm entitled. Back to the entitlement world. Again, it's beyond entitlement. I have an obligation to do exactly what I just said. If I don't do that, what am I doing to myself? What the hell am I doing to myself? Never mind other people.
Suicide. Slow form.
And what I do, of course, for me is definitely going to project outwards, both good and bad. But the primary focus for that has to be on me first, no matter what. And even if you don't intend to do that or look at it a different way, and practice, giving and all these kinds of things, it's all because you're doing it with you in mind to begin with. Without you, there is no reach.
You would have been good. Is this a conversation where, what we was having about? I can't even remember the word. What's the title of this show? Is this the right room?
This is
Existentialism.
Existentialism. I am what I do.
That's what sound like.
I had to look
Guru.
up that word when I saw that. Actually.
Oh my God! Me and a friend looked it up. I realized my definition of what it was not adequate.
The word we were talking about.
Existentialism. Yeah.
Right.
And then so we looked it up, and their definitions were inadequate as well.
I looked it up before I came up, and based on the definition that I found, there's definitely, it's a label, of course, and an ism, if you will, but there's a huge aspect of it that would coincide with myself. That I can
Very good. Here, perfect. If I want, it'll take a second.
Oh, that's self-entitlement. Never mind. That's funny. That one. We had that one up. Yeah, I mean, hey, it probably goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. It's all this stuff is related more or less. So here we go. Existentialism, according to Google, Gemini, existentialism is a philosophical movement focused on the individual's freedom, responsibility, and the subjective experience of living in an inherently meaningless world. Unlike traditional philosophies that seek universal truths, existentialism emphasizes that we are defined not by a predetermined nature, but by our choices we make. Right?
I disagree with that though, man. I think you still reach existentialism and you throw in predetermination. Like let's say there is a God, and there are certain things that are predetermined. For instance, everything in the Bible where the bad guy comes along, blah, Jesus come back, blah, blah, all these things are predetermined. It would not lead out the ability and for you to have your own decisions and do those things within those guidelines, because no matter what happens, you're within certain guidelines anyway. All right, what nature can do, you can only do so much. This is just you're doing the same shit within guidelines that you're unaware of, if that makes sense. It still could be both. Existentialism doesn't mean, and then there's, I don't know if it means there's a finality. There could still be a God or whoever believes in reincarnation. And their example, I don't know.
Yes, you can add that to it. But to me, what I've been listening the last couple of days, been meditating on, is the fact existentialism is the reflection, self-reflection of the fact that you exist, you're here, right? In the future, you will die, quote unquote, die, whatever you want to call it, and in the meantime, in the between time, you make the meaning in your life, quote unquote, you, whatever that you is, or the I. Does
this mean that the me is something that existed outside and then I came into this?
Yes, that's what what's his name? Heidegger. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Schrodinger?
No. Heidegger.
Okay.
He's one of the existentialists that has some high-powered shit. For whatever reason, he's not as big in America as he was in Europe. Teachings, and he really believed that you were some type of existence before you got here.
It's logical.
Like that.
It still holds with
this
existence
about the prenatal. It's not like the prenatal. You were. There was an essence of you. There was an essence of you before you got here that determined all this stuff already.
Yes. And me and Buddha was talking about in the chat that perhaps other lives, other time spent in different realms would have crafted what got here. You'd have spent time in other places and you would have been destined in that form because you've traveled some and you've developed a certain amount of character and shit, which will be your baseline, even when thrown into a new realm.
Now you're talking graduate school level, but for sure. What we were talking about before, it was like more like fundamental bachelor level. But yeah, that could be, if you want to talk about what the metaphysics is of the essence you are. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. Yeah, that has a little weight there for sure.
I think Buddha agrees.
And people, you know what? People get misconstrued when they hear existentialism. They automatically think of atheism, being an atheist, or nihilism, which in fact is not.
All right.
Problem with
it could be part of it.
I guess. Yeah.
but it's not. You can be loving God and still be in existential moments and
Right.
I think
existential
so.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there is duality, but within the dualities there's a lot of mix. You can be fluid, and you can have one foot in water and 1 foot on land. One's dry, one's wet. So you can have both. You can have a combination.
Temperance. That's the Temperance card in the tarot. The angel Gabriel standing on the land, and with 1 foot and the other foot's in water.
Well, Guru, be specific on what you mean, one on the land and one on water. Any examples of what were you seeing in your head when you said that? Because obviously it's not literal.
It's getting out of the left and right false dichotomy ideology.
Okay.
There's more than just that. There's far more than just that.
Yeah.
And there's a fluidness aspect of that where you can
Agreed. You're not just putting 1 foot in on water and 1 foot out. You're actually walking. You're hitting the beach sometime, the water going. There's a fluidity to it while you're doing that shit. Yeah.
Right.
This shit out.
This is the aspect of corporatism that is so damning to our vessel and our well-being. Is it makes that fluidity extremely rigid.
Makes you stagnant.
You become very lethargic and toxic to the point where you don't even see that there's anything other than left and right anymore.
And what's even worse is you become this pre-programmed machine to train everybody, every kid, every person you see to follow that dogmatic bullshit. I mean, it'd be one thing if you kept it to yourself, but the fact that you got to spew that nonsense with people who have ears around it just like it's irritating.
That's right. You'll probably end up fighting to the death over it, or running away from conversations when all of a sudden whatever you had in your arsenal that was either a gotcha or a win, was mirrored and held up in your face before the ball even got rolling.
Like the whole I'll say this, like raising your hand. I don't even remember. That was so light, like a lightweight raising the hand thing, the student, whatever. Yeah,
I remember that.
But good for him having the courage to come up here. Okay, that's got it.
Yeah, it was great. And I think he'll be encouraged too. I hope he believes himself, because he was like, "Yeah, screw the victory." I hope he truly believes that. Or even if he don't, come try again. I hope he comes back.
He kind of started off on a right note, though. Like
I was impressed.
He asked, he asked me for permission. Even, can I ask you this? Almost like there's a respect there that
isn't that what Dracula does?
Stage,
Yeah, isn't that what Dracula does, guys? Dracula, you have to invite him in.
Oh, that's true. I use that analogy a lot. No, Gabe, I use that a lot about evil and all the bad shit. You have to invite
maybe it was a
evil.
tactic. You could be right. It could have been a tactic to date and all of a sudden, but I guess probably a naive individual might fall for that, but.
Right. I mean, he came in hot with the whole, like, I would say chameleon in a bad way, because it's good to try to mirror who you're talking to, especially when you meet them. There's nothing wrong with that. But he's like, "Hey, I used to be a Buddhist."
Bit much.
I didn't bite though, because I'm not no mark when it comes to debate. That don't move me. But when Joe came in here, but I think he would have torn his head off.
Yeah,
but I was starting to get a headache though. Yeah. This is a once over, an extra. This tell me, the guys, what you think about this real quick.
With that
1 minute
comes the
video, little video.
The consequences of those choices. This can be both liberating and daunting, as it places the burden of creating meaning squarely on our shoulders.
Hey, hold on, bro. Come on, man.
Existentialism is existence precedes essence. This means that we are not born with a predefined purpose or essence. Instead, we create our own meaning through our actions and decisions. Existentialists believe that humans have the freedom to make their own choices, but with that freedom comes the responsibility for the consequences of those choices.
You could overlay that with Christianity.
Yeah, you could overlay
the first part of that I'm not in line with, but the second part I'm totally in line with, except it's not a belief. It's just the way it is.
Yeah,
it is.
The first part you didn't is not an opinion or belief, right?
Right. So the first part you didn't agree with. This part where he says
existence precedes essence.
That part,
yeah, not in line with that. Existence is not
how would you say?
Essence is existence.
Okay. Yeah, that's the non-dual way of looking at it. Right there.
I think
This
what
means that we are
happens-
not born with a predefined purpose or essence. Instead, we create our own meaning through our actions and decisions.
both
I'm
can
not in
still
line
be
with
true.
that either.
He keeps
You
saying
don't think so?
instead, as if both can't be a thing. You know, that's what irritates me about this definition of it.
So the meaning thing,
Right,
and
Charles?
it's kind of in contradiction to when we were reading the definition earlier that there's no meaning. Here's my view on meaning. Existence itself is the meaning of existence. How could you have a better meaning than that, right? Because the opposite of the equation is to not exist. Who would want that?
Yeah.
Can
Cease
that
to
be
exist.
a meaning and more meaning? I believe that
Existing is the ultimate gift. It's the ultimate.
Okay, but
miracle.
it's not alone though. I am saying I'll give you that. That is the ultimate gift. Clearly, nothing else can go on without that one, right? So, but wouldn't there be other things? God, dog, I forgot the word we use, so I can't think complete my fucking
Attributes,
what do they call it?
characteristics.
Yeah, those things are byproducts. But we're referencing just the
So-
existence part itself and the meaning of that.
Yeah. So like my metaphor is Christmas. Like if you're lucky enough to get Christmas gifts, that big gift that quote unquote Santa Claus gives you, that's the existence. That's
Right.
the big, that one big, the race car track. But then all these other things are like the little things in stocking.
Right. Yeah, there are other
That's a
things
stocking
right
gift.
outside of existence. Like I think
Right.
a duty,
Like
refinement,
bonuses, and they're great.
Right.
part of look, yeah,
Yes.
part of,
Yes.
a part of being given the opportunity to refine myself and make myself better every day, more wise, or do those little things. That's a gift.
Right.
Yeah,
Maybe
every
even the
part
duty.
of it is a gift. Absolutely.
Do you think though that some people get in trouble when they take the bonus little gifts as the gift over
Yeah.
existence?
I'm sure that clown who just
Yes.
popped up here
Missed
did
the boat.
that. Yeah.
Right.
Missed the vote, right? Yeah.
That guy who
Uh,
up here who thinks that you're
He
supposed
said
to
that
let
clown.
other people that it's just supposed to let other people determine your reason for
Yeah.
existence because they're smarter
Yeah.
than you. They measure the road or whatever
If,
weird metrics he was coming up with.
I can give a real easy example of this.
Joe.
If we mistake the bonuses for the fundamental gift itself, you're going to be chasing all these things like people do because you have
Right.
an
Yeah.
empty void in a hole, and it's always going to be a temporary uplift in a crash,
Right.
uplift in a
Yes.
crash, right?
Right.
Damn.
Because you're
Yeah.
missing the fundamental
I
part. That's
think-
where the
Yeah.
fulfillment is in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where I can use existentialism as a gift. The ism is to remind me when I get out of that, when I get distracted by those mini gifts and stuff. Shadow says Buddhism and existentialism share ground on individual experience. Life is suffering and rejection of the self. However, the Buddha said that the Eightfold Path solves suffering, whereas existentialism doesn't care. Right.
All right. I think we've done this before, but do we have to see the Eightfold Path? I know we've done it before. You can just read the bullet points or say I'm a guru, not guru, shadow, guru. Shadow, I called him.
We have the
Shadow
thing.
Buddha.
Yeah.
You put the Eightfold thing.
Yeah, he's gonna put that. We have the manual. I need
We
it.
looked
I wish
it
I could
up
pin it
before.
somewhere.
Right, because
Yeah, we have it on here. We always refer to it.
And y'all gave a good copy. The one I Googled was like, Buddha was like, no, that's whack. Here we go. And he came with a good copy.
Until we find that one real quick, we'll just do this one real quick.
All right.
Explained in 1 minute. I like these explained in 1 minute. These ADHD mind right here.
I'm telling you about the Eightfold Path of Buddhism in this 1 minute explainer. The Eightfold Path is the fourth of the Four Noble Truths and allows one to get rid of this path, known as the middle way between hedonism and asceticism.
Okay. Joe Cool last night. Hedonism stories. Today. Exteticism. Yeah.
Three categories: morality, concentration, and wisdom. First is morality.
Morality, concentration, and wisdom.
As it grants the ability to have concentration. Morality includes right speech, which is the abstinence from harsh words, gossip, or anything that harms.
Sounds like new guru.
Right conduct,
Yeah.
which is anything that doesn't intend to kill, steal, or harm living beings. And right livelihood, which means taking up a profession that does no
Can you
harm.
pause that so I can read
Next.
those three?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let me bring back a little bit.
Yes.
I like that third one,
Or
taking up
harm
a
living beings
profession
and
that does no
There you
harm.
go.
Right speech, which is the abstinence from harsh words, gossip, and right conduct, which is tend to kill, steal, harm living beings. I'm half in line with that one. Which means taking up a professional. Right lively, which means taking up a profession that does no harm.
Meaning
I'm
you
half in
can't be
line
a,
with that too.
meaning you can't be a cop. That's all that I heard. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't. Might not have to be a profession.
Can I
But
elaborate a couple of
Please.
points here on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the right conduct, which is anything that doesn't intend to kill, steal, or harm living beings. So if we're going to use morality as kind of the overhead for the things that I was saying earlier as my moral compasses, it would, I guess, fall under that category. This one in particular, though, and here's a good example of where morality is very subjective. What most people consider to be stealing, I consider to be a gaslight.
Okay. Example.
I don't view things as stealing because I don't view ownership as being anything other than a fantasy. So if things can't be owned, let me finish. If things can't be owned, you can't steal. And this ideology sets the stage for fake virtue, which takes away from the reality back to the other compass gauge, which is that no individual is more or less by default entitled to anything here.
how does that
We're all
work
equally entitled to everything.
How does that
all
work?
equal, huh?
How does that work though in a real life capacity, a modern day capacity? That doesn't. What the guy that walks into a store and grabs some items and walks out? What do we call that? If not stealing, and is it bad?
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't look at it as stealing. I look at it as the things that led up to that is where the gaslight is. This ideology that in order to access something, you had to pay for it.
Yeah,
I understand all of that.
That's
but
mean
I'm
and
saying
cruel.
the guy who walks into there and takes that shit, what do you call it if not stealing? What word can I use to convey that from now on?
A guy walking in somewhere and taking something.
Yeah.
And I don't look at that as being wrong or evil.
Right. You don't see. Okay. All right.
What if someone even if they like take your food storage and you grew and you really needed that at your house or whatever? Like, how would you? What does that look like?
Can you repeat when they take?
Like someone went into your house, went to your food storage or whatever, and they stole your stuff that you need to survive.
Excellent question.
It's not yours anyway. You're saying,
right?
That's what
it's
you would
not
say,
mine, right? And it's no different than there's a plant. I got a garden growing out here. I got a huge greenhouse. When an insect lands on one and starts eating one, he's not stealing it from me because I didn't own it. And if ownership is such a thing, if we're going to use that ideology, then the moment that you claim something that you own it, the first person who does that stole it from everybody else.
If intent is a thing, it leaves the door open for stealing. The ant doesn't have intent to steal and hurt you in any way, but a man has that ability. So him taking something from you could be different from the ant doing it. He could intend to.
Again, the moment you think that you have more entitlement to anything here than somebody else, would have to mean then that you're stealing it from everybody else. So this is my point: is that there is no more or less entitlement by default. That's where the gaslight comes in, is when somebody thinks that.
So even with your body, we don't own our body, and mosquito sucks the blood from us.
Different than
it is what it is, right?
You definitely don't own it. You do have a responsibility to it, though.
That type of something lies along those lines, or else when he walks out the house with the shit that you and your wife been counting on, you wouldn't feel no type of way. You'd be like, it was not ours to begin with, honey. What are we gonna do tonight? We're just gonna sit up all night and I'm gonna look at you. No, you feel a certain way. You do the same actions, but
now you're projecting. Now you're projecting.
Oh, I'm assuming.
Assuming,
yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I've long cleared that stuff out of my palate. It's a long time ago. I don't operate that way.
Still assuming over here, but I hear you, and you maintain that, and maybe I might change some point, but no.
All right.
And you're free to assume that, of course, but it doesn't mean that that's correct.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go down that same line for a while. Now we're looking for shit that assures and buttresses my belief.
Now we're talking about right livelihood. I'll hit that up in a second. Shadow Blue, what you sent me. Right livelihood. You said part of it you don't agree with, Nude?
Yeah, because it kind of correlates. The same again is there's the part that I don't agree with is the
choose a profession,
earn a living part. That's back to the same kind of narrative that's operating that way. It's all in a gaslight way. So you're already doing harm in that sense.
I agree.
To yourself, right? So it's an oxymoron here that Now the do no harm part, okay, that's a self-chosen thing, and some would call that morality. For me, my basis for do no harm is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it brings me nothing to do that. It's nonsensical for me to do that. I get nothing out of it. And number two, I do operate with a lot of value of being in cooperation with a lot of people. And so it would be an antithesis to that, and that just makes no sense whatsoever. Why would I do that?
Okay.
Right.
I think that's
which
what
means
I think that's what morals are. When a person don't have
yeah, you could call it moral, right?
Yeah,
but it's not that I'm doing it because I'm trying to be a good person or something like that. Although there is definitely an aspect of I do have empathy and compassion, and so when even inadvertently I accidentally cause harm, I don't feel good about that. If you want to call that a right and wrong thing, sure, we can equate it to that or whatnot. So there is that aspect of things as well, but it happens from time to time with everybody. But certainly, I may tend to make an extra effort compared to other people, I guess, to practice the do no harm thing, just by consequence of the way that I function in my livelihood. But it's not because I'm trying to be a some kind of better good person.
Yeah, I understand all of that
something like
shit.
that. Yeah.
I understand all of that shit.
So
And
just for clarity, what is the motivation then?
The other two things that I stated are, number one is that I don't have an incentive to cause harm. That's number one. It doesn't bring me anything, right?
And secondly, it's antithetical to what he's trying to accomplish with his group.
Yeah, if anything, it brings a detriment to myself and other people that I'm looking that there's value in cooperating.
And interesting enough, he's using the first one, right, speech, in order to set himself up for success on all of those last two things, right? Because he's not the most important thing in the sense, if you're talking about essentially, he's not. He's doing right speech for himself, so he doesn't harm himself, which correlates to which goes over to everything else externally.
Right. Absolutely.
That's awesome, bro.
Taking up a profession that does no harm. Next is concentration, which prepares the mind for wisdom. Concentration requires right effort, which is the dedication to meditation, even if it takes years under a mentor. Right concentration, which is a form of meditation in which one enters a trance. And right mindfulness, which means one is fully attuned to suffering, impermanence, and non-self.
Okay, let's go back. Let's hit that up. Any fault in these? Concentration.
All right.
Right effort.
Right effort, which is the dedication to meditation, even if it takes years under a mentor. Absolutely in line with that, 100%. Right concentration, which is a form of meditation in which one enters a trance. I'd have to ponder on that for a little bit.
I think that's that autistic shit I do, that you're in a flow when you're I don't know, when you're examining a thing.
I'm in a constant state of meditation, but I guess it's going to depend on what you mean by that. For me, meditation, it's kind of a synonym for intentional focus and awareness. And what I do with that is intentional. Where I place my focus.
I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, so if that's what it means, then okay, I'm in with that.
Yeah, I use the term on that. The way I look for me is a walking meditation. like focus while you're
Yeah.
in motion.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or even
Yeah,
if you're sitting, I guess.
conscious.
Right?
Even like a lot of people, you'll notice they can wander in their minds, or they'll go on a wander
Yeah, a lot.
spree. They'll daydream,
Like
right?
the clouds.
Right, and there's kind of an autonomous feature to that. I've programmed myself not to do that. If I go into thoughts or receiving information or whatnot, it's very consciously intentional when I do that.
I do that. Let's say I got a 15-hour ride from Colorado to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
The first hours, 8, 9 will be conscious, intentional shit. Shit that I had to hash over, thought about, re-go through. It'll all be about that. And in the end, I'll give myself permission to think about any goofy thing I want.
Anything.
Yeah.
I think as a teacher and me practicing that, being able to focus with the practice, cultivate that would be great, and especially for students in general, man. That'd be the building block for trying to teach some of these subjects, man. Is like be able to focus like that.
Yeah,
this is like very important stuff, man.
Yeah, how do you teach a motherfucker to focus though, right?
I don't know.
At least as long as I don't know. I expect that you motherfuckers done figured out a way to focus too that comes damn near naturally.
A little bit.
Right? When I can turn my shit on, it's instantaneous.
Yeah, it's kind of like eating. You can't really teach. You can just sort of show, and an individual has to practice it themselves and figure it out.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's like my son. We did something called a free. What's it called?
I think you're right.
Free eating or something like that. I forgot. Where like we didn't like baby feed him like with the here's the food with the the helicopter. No, we put the food like on his tray with the plastic on the ground or tarp on the ground where he went at it. I mean, we showed him how to do it, but he showed himself, and he was never had to use. We never was really fed, and he caught on to it very quick.
Yeah, and there's a lot of innate instinctual things that happen when the breathing room for individuals to develop does that. And we can impart different techniques too, and different types of like meditation. There's quite a few different types for different reasons, and that's all great. But the showing is one thing, the practicing and the individual taking it and implementing it for themselves. That's all about it, right?
I think
and then Go ahead, Joe.
I was gonna say, I think Guru, you were hitting on that. If they see it, it'll reverberate as truth. That might not sound, but I think when they see it and they see that energy being reflected in that person, they may unconsciously don't know why, but that's the guy I want to be. That's how I want to do. Right. So they need them role models that are stoic or in a proper moment and all that, or loving in a proper moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and Buddha says, Srila Buddha says, in study guide, Buddha goes into detail about stealing on the right action. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to get to that. And you said I wouldn't recommend listening to a YouTube clip about Buddhism as it lacks the Buddha's own word. Now, here's the thing. I respectfully kind of disagree with that in the sense that, like, I'm planning on going to the in-depth one. I just want to get the overview quick, so then we can go into the more detail. So yeah, man, like even if we didn't go into the whatchamacallit, the Buddha's own words, I think this is still not bad because we're putting up against what we know, and this is a cool exercise. But yeah, bro, I was gonna get to it. Patience, grasshopper. Yeah. Because that's a high-powered manual he has. And Markella, before we go there, let's go this. She has a question. If no one owns anything, why does the Bible say thou shalt not steal?
He talks to the wrong
because
guy.
The Bible's full of shit.
I know.
See?
Oh, there you go.
and you draw your own conclusions about it. It's
I like the Bible.
It's not totally full of shit. I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? But objectively,
you crew is fucking wild right now.
I haven't read the whole thing, but as much as I read, to me, it's easily to see that it was written
Right.
either by a Masonic order or something of the sort
It's
that is hand in
confusing,
hand with
kind of, right?
authoritarianism to keep people in a state of confusion so that they're easily
Yeah.
ruled upon.
If Guru, if I could make a suggestion, I don't know if you're reading the Old Testament, like start from the beginning. I wouldn't suggest do that, and just read the New Testament and read the Quran. I don't see how you could disagree with 90% of what they say. If they're talking about Bathsheba was on a
I
rooftop,
know.
that'll be all in the beginning. The Quran and the New Testament is mostly philosophies, which I think you'll agree with.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Okay. Right, concentrate, effort plus Charles Darwin. Thanks for being here, Charles. Awesome, always awesome chatter. Effort, concentrate, and concentration equal mindfulness. Was the question? Hear that? Mindfulness. Effort plus concentration equals mindfulness. What do you guys think?
I'm zooming in right now. Well, am I on the wrong right page?
No, I'm looking at no. I was reading Charles' comment. I just said effort plus concentration equals mindfulness. I see you there, Blue. Yeah, bring you up. What's that?
Effort.
Yeah. You ready, Blue?
Concentration.
You ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
It's Miss Blue. What's
I would
going
say
on,
that
Blue?
would be one example of one context.
Hey, good to have you.
I just
Hi, Blue.
have a quick question. Well, it's a
Go ahead
comment
then.
and a question. The first thing is, I'd like to fire Joe as my son's tutor, and I would like to hire Guru. So,
Shit.
Guru on the payroll. Just let me know.
Guru will never teach you how to roll a blunt properly. He'll
Well,
never teach you the basics.
I can take care of that stuff. I just
You got
need
that
to.
part?
Yeah.
You can take it. There you go. There you go, dude, girl, man.
Yeah, Guru, you're on there. You're on the payroll.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like teaching the last emperor or something. Like when the prestigious teacher from London taught the last emperor of China.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, Alexa's just sick of me asking questions. She's like, "Bitch, stop asking questions."
That's a smart person.
Ask so many questions.
That's the Joe Cool school. Ask the questions.
Listen, trust me, I know.
Yeah. So this is great. I'm glad you came up, Blue. This is
Yeah, y'all.
pondering
I would've
life.
come up earlier, but I had no idea what y'all were talking about. So
We had the Joe had to rough somebody up a little bit. New guru. Had to like set him straight.
And I guess I missed. Did Joe have like a show last night? He like told all his stories.
Allegedly, I think he did. I think he got blocked though. If I'm not like Kevin was, or they're playing some music on it, so I don't know. But
Joe, is that
it's
what you're
fucking
telling me
epic.
about?
I have no idea what this guy is talking about.
Is this the racist guy? Was this the racist
Blue, there was a lot of hedonist stories.
What I told you about. I'm in a lot of racist rooms. Could have been, but it couldn't have been. No, it couldn't have been.
That was Restos.
Yeah, it had to been like
there was self-proclaimed racists on the panel for sure.
Yeah,
but, they weren't racist last night.
If I was telling you about a racist room, it was it's something different.
Blue, I'll give you this. Here's the link in the back for if you want to watch it later.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It's wild, Blue. Sorry, Joe. You did it to yourself.
The funny thing is, though, is I'll be like, "Oh, I've heard that. Oh, I've heard that. I've seen that."
Dude, OG has some crazy story too about that trick. I'm not even gonna say. I'll let you guys do this shit. Yeah. Here's the Resto's show yesterday, guys. So you can watch that yesterday. I'm gonna probably clip it later. Resto Chesto, yeah. But back to the lecture at hand. Let's go back to this real quick. Then we can get to the manual. Well, only a little bit left of this one right here. So I'm happy you're here, Blue.
Attuned to suffering, impermanence, and non-self.
Okay.
Finally, one must have wisdom to reach nirvana, which entails right view, which is the act of fully understanding the Four Noble Truths, and right intention, which is the detachment from cruelty and hatred.
Oh, okay. What about those two? We'll go back on that real quick. That's nice.
Which is the act of fully understanding the Four Noble Truths, and right intention, which
right view with Guru.
The first one, obviously, if I can't be in line with that because I'm not in line with the other noble truths.
Okay.
So to speak, right?
Right.
So, but what is it trying to
Right
say?
into it.
Which is the act of fully understanding. Okay, leading to which is a detachment from cruelty and hatred. Well,
I'm sure you can get on board with that one. Even you might have a problem with the terminology, but the actions you can get on board with.
I'm definitely on board with that, but what it's trying to say is to bring, I guess, the state of nirvana or something from the other.
And I don't know the Four Noble Truths, so I couldn't say yay or nay about that.
Anyway, it's definitely healthy to be detached from cruelty and hatred. So for sure, that's an obvious given.
Yes.
I'm in line with that.
But I'm not so sure people do it because people stay up late nights to be cruel to other people, and many people tune in to watch that. So it is a thing that people like being cruel.
Well, and that's the thing is people get to do that here, and a lot of people are afraid to admit that to themselves. That's just a part of the reality here, and a lot of people who tout virtuousness there's a huge amount of pot and kettle syndrome going on. While they're touting don't be so mean to me, they're squishing a bug or hunting a fucking deer. So pot and kettle all over the place.
Okay.
Or they're endorsing the violence on another motherfucker. Don't be mean to me, but here's some more money. We gotta bomb a certain country or get rid of a certain group of illegal alien counter terrorists, whatever name you've put on those group of people today.
Right, which brings back to the major elephant in the room, which is that morality is highly subjective, especially when you can shift your opinion of entitlement of morality from one person to another, one group to another.
Yeah, we can hear you. You were out. You're back.
I can't hear anyone, but maybe it's me.
Yeah. Oh shit, you can't hear. Hold on. Ain't nothing
Can
I
y'all
can
hear
do.
Joe?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but can you hear Joe?
Tell her to drop me.
Yeah, we hear Joe.
Tell her to drop me. Come back.
Yeah, I
can
can't
hear
It's
you.
her iPhone.
I can't hear anyone. I'll drop down and come back in a minute.
Come back up.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, bye.
Okay, let's go. Thank you. Yeah, come back up. Or we'll get mad at you.
She thinks on phone. Okay, bye. So you see
So
those
this
two
is-
panels, right?
She does our panel though. She's becoming
she does.
a fixture here around here.
It's like a phone called her. Okay, bye.
Can you see how crazy the idea is? I'm gonna decide something is moral, or I'm going to tout something as moral because I believe that if it came from this source, i.e. the Bible, and anything other than that is not moral or unjust or whatever.
Or the law, as dude just got up here and do.
Or the law, right?
He chose the law instead. But same thing.
Yeah, he was also pointing to the same thing I'm talking about too, the Bible, right? He was
and the Bible.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So there you go.
You see how insane this
upside
is? Because it sets the stage where now, okay, all of a sudden, if you don't align with those principles, my subjective ideology that decided that that's moral, I can do all these heinous things to you.
Yes.
I was
and
that's
trying to
somehow
explain
supposed
that.
to be moral.
Oh, check this out. I think this is exactly timely. I was just in another room before I came over here. Matter of fact, I left when I saw you, Gabe. That's exactly that's exactly what we were talking about. I was trying to get to them that do we, like Trump killing his world leader and taking over that country's leader out, taking them to jail and shit. I was saying, do we get to decide who's the bad guy? Why? It's the first I was like, why is it okay? He was a drug dealer. He was the biggest drug dealer on the Eastern Seaboard or whatever the fuck the excuse was.
All these variables.
And I was like, do we get to determine, who's good or bad, and then take out their leader? And the media motherfuckers, so you don't support your country, it got really weird. You want the terrorists to win, all sorts of
That's the womb metaphor. You're messing up their womb, Joe.
Yeah.
You're messing up their warm womb over there.
The very fact that there can be a discussion or a disagreement about it is, again, back to the point that it's definitely subjective. and where people will fight over it.
And it's a discussion, right? Like that's the funny thing, and I don't think Gio was trying to see that, or it didn't seem like it. Where we'll have the discussion for sure, but we don't want to just have it be like a fucking rude animals and shit.
And the reason being it is because the objective for a mind like that is not to be honest. An objective like that is to try and hone
victory
in
or something.
Yeah, and it typically comes from a place of insecurity because the belief system, which is the dishonest practice, has to be protected at all costs. And the moment that it's challenged is the moment that, oh shit, I may have to actually do all these things and I'm out of practice, which is honesty, challenging my belief, being objective, looking at things, critical thinking, everything but that.
This is what I want to do here.
Politics and
That's
government.
what I'm about. We're trying to do here, bro. Like, get to that core.
Yeah,
there's a lot of content there. What'd you say about government? You said government.
Say those things. He said have no place in politics and government because you give over all of that to someone else. Your critical thinking skills are no longer needed if you just defer to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Here's my observation from somebody who's been born into the indoctrinative cult of corporatism and has done a great deal of seceding out to try and be like wild and feral. My view is this: if you think wild animals are dangerous, you should see the ones that are indoctrinated. They're crazy. Those are the ones that I live amongst. There's cougars in the fields. Foxes everywhere, coyotes, sometimes wolves, whatnot. None of them bother me. It's these crazy fucking indoctrinated humans that may come across my path that I gotta look out for.
Yeah. It's funny you say corporatism. One of the interesting books I read back in the day is called The Psychopath's Bible, and by Dr. Christopher Hayek, and mainly talking about in order to be like a successful person in the corporation, the corpus, the dead body, the corporation, you have to be a psychopath. Those traits are like they're like rewarded.
You're not even just willfully ignorant psychopath either, and embracing it wholeheartedly and touting it as virtuous and will kill to. And
if you touch that police officer, you should die. You interfered with his duty.
Wow.
He's supposed to kill you. What else? He doesn't know if you have a gun. You got to support some psychopathic thinking.
Here's let's look at this. Shadow Buddha, hope you're still awake. This is it. The fourth, what's your thoughts, guys? The fourth noble truth, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. Right? So the noble eight path. So this is a passage. And this monk is the noble truth of the way of the practice leading to the cessation of dukkha. Precisely this noble eightfold path: right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So what we went over, right? So the three fold division of the path. A layman's Vishkana, a layman, ex-husband of Vin, sister of Dharma Medina, and are the three aggregates of virtue, concentration, and discernment, included under the noble eightfold path. Lady, or is the noble eightfold path included under the three aggregates? So these are all dialogues. I guess this is how Buddha taught. The three aggregates are not included under the eightfold path, friend Vishka, but the noble eightfold path is included under the three aggregates: right speech, right action, right livelihood, come under the aggregate of virtue. Right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration come under the aggregate of concentration. Right view and right resolve come under the aggregate of discernment. Now, I see this Buddha, the way they set up things, that could be beneficial in itself. The way they take these things, unlike the Bible, and they kind of put it in a system that you can really like look at, like an outline form. I think that I like to learn like that, so that could be good for me.
It helps me.
Yeah, so let's see. An ancient path. Can you read that, Joe?
No, please don't make me. Yeah.
Okay. an ancient path rediscovered. Tell me to stop at any moment. It's just as if a man traveling along a wilderness track were to see an ancient path an ancient road traveled by people of former times.
Right.
He would follow it, right? That's true.
100%.
Fo- right? Following it, he would see an ancient city, an ancient capital inhabited by people of former times, complete with parks, groves, and ponds, and walled delightful. Sounds great. I like it.
Yeah.
He would go to address the king or the king's minister, saying, "Sire, you should know that while traveling along a wilderness track, I saw an ancient path." Meaning, wilderness track would be kind of like unenlightened, I guess, to say the least. The metaphor right there, probably.
Ancient, if the metaphor on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient. Or maybe not, I don't want to go unenlightened. Ancient could mean wise still, just old wisdom. So
No. I
say
mean, like
unenlightened yet.
I'm saying the part about the wilderness track. Like they were traveling in the wilderness before they saw this
Okay, so that's
this old city and whatnot. Yes. And then so you should know. I followed it. I saw an ancient city, an ancient capital, complete with parks, groves, and ponds, wild delight. Sire, rebuild that city. The king or king's minister would rebuild the city so that at a later date the city would become powerful, rich, and well populated. That's a Freudian slip, huh? Well polluted, well populated, fully grown and prosperous. Okay, so here we go. Here's the meat and potatoes. Yeah. In the same way, I saw an ancient path, an ancient road traveled by the rightly self-awakened ones of former times. That's the OGs, spiritual OGs. And what in that ancient path, that ancient road traveled by the rightly self-awakened ones of former times. Just this noble eightfold path, right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. I followed that path. Following it, I came to direct knowledge of birth. Okay. Becoming, clinging, craving, feeling, contact. The six senses, media, a name and form, consciousness, direct knowledge of the origination of consciousness, direct knowledge of the cessation of consciousness, direct knowledge of the path leading to the cessation of consciousness. I followed that path. Following it,
I'm retaining none of this knowledge. It's cessation, stopping.
Yes, I said
stopping, cessation, stopping at the cessation. But I'm not retaining any of that knowledge.
Yeah, it is kind of not the language that I'm used to, modern language. And if I that's why Shadow Buddha, you'd be best probably to come up and because he's teaching me about this stuff, showing me this interesting high powered stuff. But because it's like,
I respect that dude. I'd be scared to yell at him and all that shit. I do not want to not be friends with that nigga. If he came up here, I think I'd give him the respect shit to do.
According to Google, cessation means the fact or process of ending or being brought to an end.
Mm-hmm. So to me, it seems like he's come to knowledge of seeing the beginning and the end and cessation of all these things, and ending of all these things. He's talking like he's speaking of a life of I came to direct knowledge of birth, becoming, clinging, craving, feeling, contact. Those are all things that we are all experiencing constantly, right? It seems like it.
To what end was he saying? Was he saying they were good? Were they bad? Is it a lesson learned after a long life?
Well, he has direct knowledge of it. Like maybe before, without this eightfold path, he was in the wilderness of not knowing.
Okay, gotcha.
But when he came to this eightfold path, they showed him direct knowledge of the senses, what they really mean.
Yeah.
And so following it, I came to direct knowledge of fabrications. These are like the traps a lot of us are trying to expose the others to.
Yeah.
Direct knowledge of the origination of fabrication, direct knowledge of the cessation of fabrications, direct knowledge of the path.
Government and the belief that they have authority over you and they're here to help. These are all fabrications. You are free. These are all fabrications that I have come to direct knowledge of.
Mm-hmm. Of the path leading to the cessation of fabrications, knowing that directly I have revealed it to monks, nuns, male lay followers, and female lay followers, so that this holy life has become powerful, rich, detailed, well populated, well spread, proclaimed among celestial and human beings. This is a good marketing campaign, like of like reasons why to follow it. There's only a little bit more. A path to overcoming danger. There are these three things that are genuine: mother and child separating dangers. Which three? The danger of aging, the danger of illness, and the danger of death. That sounds very existential. All these things: aging, illness, and death. Right. A lot of distractions nowadays keep us from looking at those things.
He's
A
saying the rest
mother-
are distractions. The only real things that will occur are those. The rest are
Those
distractions.
things, right. Any thoughts, new gurus?
There's
There's a
more
lot. It's
danger.
pretty dense.
There's more danger to mitigate than just that. One other
Right.
big one: the danger is of physical harm.
Physical harm, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why my brother Ali, he would say number one to him of the universe is self-preservation. That's one of the things he'll always share in his teachings all the time.
I think it'd be difficult to argue with that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
without that, that's rule number one. Without that,
The vessel being in its optimal form is very serving. There's a reason it needs to be like that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still working with the metaphor. Last week, new guru, when you said about the caterpillar, the vessel as I like that one.
Cocoon, right?
Cocoon. Yeah, excuse me, the cocoon. Yeah, right. A mother can't get her wish with regard to her child who is aging. I am aging, but my child not age. A child can't get his wish with regards to his mother who is aging. I'm aging, but my mother not age. Yeah. That's why I be careful to say too, like, I wish my son could stay this age. No, I don't, because that's like someone who's like mentally retarded or something happened, you know what I mean? Like that's stunted their growth.
Yeah, to a test.
But yeah. A mother can't get her wish with regard to her child who is growing ill. I'm growing ill, but my child cannot grow ill. A child can't get its wish with regards to his mother who is growing ill. I'm growing ill, but my mother is not growing ill. A lot of this is to imprint in your mind. That's why the repetition and the 3 by 3s by 6s, all that. Yeah.
I just thought of something on reflection too. Can you scroll back up again for 1 sec?
Mm-hmm.
There's two other things there in that first paragraph that I don't see eye to eye with. The danger of aging. Aging is an important part of a healthy cocoon development. It's not only important, but it's inevitable. But the danger of premature aging, which all of it, the one that's totally 100% is the middle one, the danger of illness. And focusing on that and your health prevents if I would probably change or elaborate on the danger of aging and the danger of death, the danger of premature aging and the danger of premature death, because death is a misnomer as well. So in other words, if you don't fulfill the potential of what being in the cocoon is meant to be for, and that doesn't happen, then that's a danger to yourself, right?
Yes, that's self-danger. Which you can't help other people when that's happening. What the second paragraph, real quick, Shadow said, I guess in this part right here is where he said, I guess the Buddha, he achieved enlightenment, nirvana, from following the Eightfold Path. That's what that's describing. Okay. And now you can too, I guess, right? Here we go. We start here. There are a mother cannot get her wish with regard to her child who is dying. I'm dying, but my child may not die. A child can't get his wish with regards to his mother who is dying. I'm dying, but my mother can't die. These are the three things that are genuine: mother and child, separating dangers. Can you guys unpack that one?
I don't understand none of it, though.
That's
Yeah, I
I
don't.
read the paragraph first. A mother can't get her wish with regard to her child who is growing ill. I'm growing ill, but may my child not grow ill. A child can't get its with regard to its mother who is growing ill. I am
So it's
growing
saying
ill.
neither one can get the wish.
What wish are we talking
Yeah,
about?
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't know.
assuming wish that they're stay healthy and not grow ill or not age. I don't know if I'm being
That's
honest.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Like, stay with them, to stay with each other. You know,
there's a
not get sick, not get.
there's an important part of nature's balance where the symbiotic nature of mother and child needs to continue, especially after birth, for the development. But that process needs to happen properly, and then after that, that's it. You're in your own cocoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at
Yeah.
animals too, you see that actually takes place a hell of a lot sooner than humans like to try and practice.
Oh, they
Most
mature
humans-
fast. Yeah.
I'll throw a little facetious pun out there. Most humans are still drinking milk at 40 and 50 years old. You know, it is what it is.
I just bought 2 gallons, so fuck you, dude. Fruity Pebbles and Captain Crunch.
There might be a time to
Mama.
meme. You know what I'm saying?
Mama.
There might be.
Still buy that Laffy Taffy, Joe. Yeah, that's a
Blue ain't
reference.
watching that shit, bro.
Milk.
I find that
Okay,
to be
so
poetic justice, actually. That humans that think they're the most intelligent haven't finished weaning in their 50s.
yeah, they'll say their head's so big. That's their frontal cortex. This is why we need to be babies for longer. Yeah, but you're not a baby like you said at 40. A mother. That's why Shadow Buddha, your expertise would be greatly needed right here, because I have a knowing that it's like, but I really want to get my finger on it. I think I need a study guide or something. With that said, but here let's try that. And which is the path, which is that's practice. Just as very noble eightfold path, right view, right resolve, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This is the path. This is the practice that leads to the abandoning. This is important, maybe abandoning and overcoming all of these 3 mother, child, uniting dangers of these 3 mother, child separating dangers. Enlightenment is go ahead.
So you were right when you said that maybe they were something about death and sickness, they'd be separated. You were right.
Or maybe not looking at it like that by following this path. Enlightenment is accessible only to those who follow this path. And that's elitist. I mean, that's like I said about what they call it. I said not elitism, absolutism. It's only accessible to those who follow this path.
Yeah.
And it might be the case though, but still it is.
Still reeks of it though, right?
Yeah. In any doctrine or discipline where the noble eightfold path is not found, no contemplative of the first, second, third, and fourth order stream winner, once returner, non-returner, and arahat is found. But in any doctrine or discipline where the noble eightfold path is found, yeah, man, I need to have a study guide on this, man, because I read it before too, and I was like, I kind of understand some of the stuff, but that's why I like that little video, because I don't know much about this stuff as much as I would like to.
I'm finna abandon you, man. It's this hot chick I've been chasing around the internet. I'm gonna go get cigarettes and then go chase a chick. So we'll wrap with you.
Go chase a chick. What was that? Mask off. Chase a chick. Never be a trick. Mask on. Yeah. In that case, yeah, I gotta go on we got triathlon practice bike riding a little bit, so I gotta do that. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you coming through. Fucking awesome as usual. Yeah, anything you want to add, Joe? Nude Guru, notification.
Are we doing a wrap up here?
Yeah, wrap it up. Like wrapping it up.
All right. Well, I guess just the big takeaway that I would leave for anybody here is that back to that sort of compass gauge that I use. There's 4 of them. So rather than like evil versus good, it's healthy versus toxic. It's harmful versus not harmful. There's 4 of them. What are they again? Healthy versus toxic, harmful versus non-harmful, honest versus dishonest. And there's a 4th one too, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, as contradictory as this is, never forget to remember. Thanks for having me up. Great conversation. We'll see you on another.
Thanks. Art and Identification. See you soon, brother. Have a good one.
Take it easy.
Thank you. Everyone in the building. Charles Darwin in the building. Markella, appreciate you. Buddha, that was awesome. Appreciate you. Yeah, I gotta go over that, man. I gotta be more diligent in my lessons. We'll talk about it. Yeah. So be like the Buddha and achieve enlightenment, peace of mind, free from suffering, follow the Eightfold Path. Learn more about it here. This episode has been Existentialism. I am what I do. Logical Sparks, Wiccan, Charles Darwin, Lindsay, Shadow Buddha, Joe Cool, Texas Blue, Geoverse, Twitch TV. Everybody, peace, bro. And we'll see you soon. Thank you. Life, death, and then finding meaning. That's what we've been rotating on. I love you guys. Peace. I love you, Ben.